My grandma's
Now,
birthday.
I do want to say, Yaz, you absolutely cannot pick up Tyrion like he's a little boy. If you ever see him in real life, like that's not the way. That's not a good way of going about meeting your people that you consider folks that you admire. Would you agree?
What about if I had his consent? Then would it be okay?
I mean, you'd have to have written consent, I would assume. You know
How
what I'm
does
saying?
it have to be written? It's verbal.
It's Ty. Will you tell?
I think any picking up of Tyrion would probably be done privately. I think as a grown man being picked up in public is quite embarrassing, especially if you're being picked up by a small woman like yourself.
You probably can't even really pick up Tyrion in real life. Like,
you're right. He probably weighs as much as I do. I only weigh like 135 pounds. So
yeah, man, tighten up, bro.
He's probably solid muscle. He probably could pick me up with his little self. So
bro. Small does not mean lightweight. All right, let's just go ahead and get that out the way right now. Real quick, guys, we checking in. Hallelujah. Good morning. Good morning. I say good morning. New Blerd order starts right now. It's me. It's your boy Ty. It's your girl Yas, and we are here today to talk Blerd stuff. Let's go ahead and kick this off real quick. Let's see, which one should we use today? Let's go with the WandaVision. All right. Well, I think it was no. You know what, man? This is what we're going to do. I figured out how to fix this. No. All right. Watch this. First of all, this week. No. All right. Watch this. Watch me fix this. Watch this. Well, first of all, I think this week's episode, if we're going to talk about WandaVision as I get myself together, I think it was pretty dope. Ty, you were already saying that you didn't like it at the outset, and I think that's bullshit.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You said you see why they did it and all this other crazy stuff.
What I said was I don't think necessarily. I understand why they did it because there are casual viewers of Wanda. And this may be the first time that they've encountered the MCU. I don't know, but that's how new fans are. So I get it. But for the last 8 weeks, or 7 weeks prior to this show, we literally recapped and gone and done all of this kind of stuff, and literally the only thing that I would say that really surprised me, and only a little bit, was the fact that she didn't really take the body. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, like everything else is kind of like was kind of addressed last week. We know that Agnes is Agatha Harkness now. We know that. The backstory as far as like what we see from Agatha is we now know that Agatha is extremely powerful. But again, like I just felt like this was just a recap, and this is the next to last episode of the full season. So I was really kind of looking for more this episode. Like, I know that the last episode is said to be this and said to be that. But, I don't know how much they're going to unwrap in 40 minutes. That's, so.
Yes, I got a feeling you didn't feel the same way.
No, my man, I did not feel the same way. Ty, I get what you're saying. You know what I'm saying, though. Like, I get your point of view, but no, I thought it was dope. It gave us a lot of things that we were like wondering about, but at the same time, I felt like I was a little mind fucked, honestly. Like, I was thinking that we were gonna see what happened to Monica, but she wasn't even in the episode at all. So, I mean, it was pretty cool though that we got to see, a lot of more depth into Agatha's power and actually the Scarlet Witch becoming, the Scarlet Witch. Yes. That was fucking epic and dope. And I think that Disney did a great job with that. I was like literally like on pins and needles, and then I was like, yo, said it. Like it was epic, no lie. So I thought it was a fantastic fucking episode. The only thing that kind of like threw me for a loop a little bit and kind of mind fucked me was like that Agatha was trying to learn how she did this. And she was so adamant about it,
right.
you know what I'm saying? And taking her through everything, you know, that happened, like the timeline, basically, just so she can find out, like, what exactly happened. How did she create this hex, this world, this reality? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and that's what she was like trying to tell her, like, I know who you are. You're the Scarlet Witch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's like, I can do this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm Agatha Harkins, but like you know what I'm saying? She was like hella jealous, and I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so many questions answered, right? So many questions answered. We now know why Agatha was at the outset of town, because she was testing the boundaries of which Wanda was able to.
Limits to her power.
Right. Sorry for those of y'all that we didn't do this last week, and maybe that's why we got canceled. Real quick.
Shields up, ready to.
All right. By the way, that was Agatha that canceled us last week. It was Agatha all along. We now know why she was out at the outset. We now know why she was dressed for Halloween. If you now take a look back at some of the episodes that we've seen before, you see the teasers, right? Which is one of the reasons why we love the Wanda episodes so much. We see that they're actually dressed up as their actual real characters in real life. Like Agatha was dressed up as a witch. Wanda was dressed up as the Scarlet Witch. Vision was dressed up as Vision, and we know Pietro was dressed up as, as Quicksilver. So this whole time they've been really literally telling us who they are in real life through the Halloween characters. Number one. Number two, we learned why Pietro was not Pietro. Because he wasn't Pietro to begin with. Now the question is, now I have no idea who he actually is, because she said he's over here. So she has to be like, who the fuck is she mind fucking? You know what I'm saying? Who?
It could be somebody in the town. You know what I'm saying? That was always in the town that she just because as you saw, she has incredible amounts of power of, just completely disappearing, fabricating, these realities. She showed us, like, she turned a cockroach into a damn bird and it flew down, and then she squished it and threw it at the cat.
Right. And ate it, and the bunny ate it. Yo, and that is unfair, because we all know that bunnies are vegan. So for that to happen to that unfortunate little bug, now we do have our honorary optimist in the building today, who is always here, and I get the feeling. Let me guess, Tyrone, you must have liked this episode, huh?
I did like it. Yes. Good morning. I absolutely did. Like, call me a layman and a casual viewer, and I'm happy with it. If that's the episode that I get, I'll be a casual viewer. I will casual myself all the way through episodes like that every week.
Right.
Keep on coming.
Oh,
what'd you like about it, Ty? What did you take away? I mean, I like the fact that this was one of the first episodes that merged all together. Like, it was not, we saw the black and white, we saw where it came from, we saw VHS, we saw DVDs, we saw Stark, we didn't see Tony Stark, but we saw a Stark product, multiple Stark products if you include Vision. I mean, there's so much to unravel. There's still some theories out there, but what's your take on the overall episode, my man?
Yeah, I think one of the cool things that we got a lot of reasoning from Agatha. I think that was my biggest takeaway from it is why she's here, how she's here, and what she's, what her goal is. And what it did for me was it revealed that at the moment that maybe there's not a big bad in this show. Maybe there's not one big villain with, these big dreams or these big goals of taking over the universe and this and that. Maybe it's just different people caught in the same situation from different angles, whether it's Sword trying to do their thing with Vision, or Agatha trying to understand this level of magic, or Wanda trying to, understand her grief, or Vision trying to understand his life, and all kind of coming together. And I like that. I like the idea that we may not have to just say, oh, here's the hero and here's the villain. Like, this is just, here are all these powerful people just trying to deal with life as it comes to them. And I that's what I took away from the episode. Loved it.
So first of all, thanks for the big words and big theories and big from a layman. You handled that well. But so you don't think that Agatha is the villain at this point? Because that's kind of how they seem to be
They're
presenting it
twisting
to
it,
us, right? Like it's like it was Agatha all along.
Mhm.
She, made you think you had your brother back, and now we're wondering. I mean, if you read the comics, all right, then you kind of already know what's about to happen if they follow the comics.
Knowing where like what could possibly happen. I keep an open mind, of course, but
right.
What surprised me about it was just that Agatha wasn't just some, she wasn't just like, I want your power and I want you not to have it and I want to use it to take over the world or whatever. It was more of a, it took me so long to get here. I don't understand why you're already here, and maybe even further down that road. And I just need to understand this. So she's doing what she can to understand her way. So I think while it was displayed that she's not necessarily a kind person or a good person or kind witch or a good witch, but she doesn't really have aspirations outside of just having power and just understanding it. She's a student of her craft kind of thing.
Right. And
she sees this person who is just, all of a sudden pops out of nowhere with all the gifts that she wants to have, that she has to work so hard for. And it's I like that angle of the story, and I think it kind of adds extra depth to why these people are doing these things.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's weird about it is, again, if you follow we know, being that I didn't really mess with Scarlet, but I messed with Fantastic Four pretty hard, and Agatha was all through the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. And if you know Agatha's history, first of all, she ain't no punk ass bitch. All right? Like Agatha ain't she coming. She got Betty White ain't got shit on Agatha. All right,
right.
Cougars. All right, Agatha's been around for a little while, and she in the comics was kind of the Yoda to Scarlet's Luke Skywalker.
Right.
But in this episode, it kind of feels like she's beckoning for Scarlet Witch to be not necessarily her Yoda, but just to be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, she's kind of, this is giving me Force Awakens vibes, Tyrone, where it's like Kylo was like, who the fuck are you, Rey? Like, like where did you come from? You know what I'm saying? And she's just like, I don't know why, and Agatha's doing the same thing. She's like, yo, how did you create this whole ass town? And Wanda's like, I don't know. And I think that's what makes it fascinating, because here you have an experienced long-time witch who came from the Salem, from way before the Salem trial.
Yeah.
But they started off the episode with a scene right out of the comic. I don't know if y'all recall, but they actually did have the part about the Scarlet Witch burning in the comics. And I thought that was pretty cool, especially when they stay close to the script that's already been put in place. Some of these books have stories that are worthy of the screen, and it's dope for them to actually show us that. And one of the people that I was talking to before we started the show that said that they want to that I was actually trying to get to come on here and talk about it is my homeboy. I don't know if y'all heard of this dude, but if you haven't, you've been living under a rock. I know who has heard of this dude. If maybe you've heard of this young lady right here.
DJ, what's goody? It's HB. Can I just big you up real quick with what you're doing with the soapbox? Listen, anytime somebody takes their platform to educate and inform the culture of hip-hop with politics, pop culture, doing what you're doing and being responsible with your platform, I can't do nothing but salute you, TJ. Keep doing what it do. Keep repping for the culture. Nothing but love and respect for me, baby. Peace.
And that's one of my growing up. I love me some Heather B. And Ty, I don't know, man. You're a big sports guy. Maybe you recognize my man right here.
It's really good. It's Peter Rosenberg, Hot 97, ESPN, WWE, Cheap Heat Podcast, all that. Big shout out to my peoples over at the Soapbox. All right, my man TJ, Legacy Cole, the whole Soapbox crew. Incredible new podcast. All right, politics, pop culture, hip hop, even wrestling on occasion. It's all there. So go subscribe and make sure you tune in to the Soapbox. TJ, what up, man? Appreciate you.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. I mean, even this guy right here, who maybe y'all may or may not have heard of this gentleman, but even he got something to say about my homeboy
Peace
TJ.
to the planet, Charlemagne the God here. What's happening, TJ Legacy Cole? Salute to you, King. Salute to the Soapbox Podcast. The Soapbox Podcast is an independent black media podcast, and they talk hip hop, politics, pop culture, mental health, social justice. A lot of my favorite subjects. Check them out, man. Tune in, subscribe to them. You never know. I'm out here looking at all the different podcasts that are moving and shaking out here because, I got the Black Effect Podcast Network. So I'm going to be checking y'all out, TJ. All right? Keep working.
My man is a big deal. For those of y'all don't know, an activist in the street, stay with the heat. Make sure everybody know about what his life is about. Always speaking out for rights, but still holding it down for the pop culture. I don't know if y'all knew him, but you finna learn today. What's up with my homeboy TJ? What's Gucci, man?
Hey, what's good, man? What's good? Hey, how's everybody doing? I did not know all those clips are going. What an intro. I appreciate it. Honestly, it's an honor to be here. I'm a little embarrassed and that came about, but no, I appreciate it, Vince. You're always good at giving people their roses while they can still smell them. But I will say it is an honor to be a part of the show. I watched last week. I've been watching frequently, so I love what you guys are doing. So happy to be a part of it.
Nah, bro, we love you, man. And for those of y'all don't know, TJ, big deal. I mean, recognized in so many different circles. All right, and it's an honor for you to be here with us, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man, and we appreciate you taking your time out from saving, it's like every week he's on TV telling somebody about himself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that he can be here, take a break.
That's true.
It's good to have some, to breathe every now and then because even activists need to watch WandaVision every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I am out there watching WandaVision early in the morning, like with my crack pipe, just kind of getting my breaks. Early in the morning, just sitting there, just like this, just waiting on the corner for this episode to hit. So,
my man. Yo. During the whole show, I want y'all to keep my man TJ in mind. As you see in his background, he does host a show called the Soapbox. Every Thursday night, they broadcast live. So make sure y'all following them, all those things you see right here. Now, on to the WandaVision stuff. TJ, I'm assuming you watched the show, bro. Did you watch last night's show? If so, what you think about it, Mike?
I did, and I think it was actually fascinating the way the centralized theme that we continue to have on WandaVision is how people deal with trauma, right? So we never saw how Wanda. We saw in Endgame and Infinity Wars how some of the other Avengers were dealing with their trauma. We saw Captain America go into like group therapy sessions. We saw Clint Bart going out and just killing everybody, just going out and just like, I'm just gonna kill everybody because I'm hurt, and now we're seeing, Wanda, when she got blipped back, she still had to deal with that pain from seeing Vision die not once but twice. And we also see with Monica Rambeau how she's dealing with the trauma of coming back after the blip. So the way that this episode kind of took us through, like not just the trauma after the blip, but what she's been dealing with and how she doesn't even know exactly herself who she is or how powerful she is. But what I initially came out with is in Endgame, she would have killed Thanos by herself. Like when she said, yo, you took everything from me, and he was like, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you're tripping about, like I don't owe you no money. She would have killed him straight by himself. But I thought this episode was a masterclass on they were doing a lot of stuff in Marvel with like mental health and stuff like that. So I thought it was real dope how they dealt with like, oh, she has some unrepressed issues and some trauma, and making sure that that was pretty much it. That was my initial takeaway from the episode, but I thought it was dope, and it was almost like they were setting the table for what I think next week's episode is going to be over the top.
Yeah. Whoa, Tylene. He brings up some good points, man. I hadn't thought of it that way. If you think about it, this is Wanda's episode. I mean, this is Wanda's, her traumatic breakthrough, so to speak. And he just tied that in with Captain America, tied it in with Clint, tied it in with everybody else who had to. I mean, because remember, even Iron Man was like, look, man, I'm not really doing all this right now. And so this whole series is what's going on with Wanda, even though it happened after, her whole debacle in Endgame. It does kind of give us at least a better idea as to what exactly is happening right now. But I got even more to break down. But what's your take on that, Ty? Lean.
I know, right?
Like three of us.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like we over the past few weeks, we've already kind of established that WandaVision is the gateway for all of these universes to kind of come into play. All the Sony, we have, everybody's merged, Fox. So Kevin Feige is using this as a platform to be able to meld all of those universes together. So we know what's coming. We know what's next. We know we got Spider-Man coming. We got the multiverse of madness with Doctor Strange. I really think this next episode, this final episode, will transition us into I think multiple series. So we'll probably because think about it, we just saw Loki's staff in this episode, which right there in itself, kind of gives you an idea of what's to come with that whole series. Then next week, and plus again, we've had with this whole episode was more, like you said, the backstory of Wanda and the fact that we now know that she was a witch prior to even gaining her powers from the Infinity Stone. So that those things definitely were needed to be made clear. But again, I just feel like, I don't know, man. Like I guess I'm being a spoiled brat when it comes down to it. 100%. But it's because I can appreciate the buildup. But at episode 8, when you have 9 episodes in a season, I just feel like at this point, what I'm saying, we should have already, like, like that part should have already been addressed. You've had opportunities to do it. You know what I'm saying? And you take a full episode, because last week, remember, we left off with the cliffhanger, like, oh snap, Monica. We don't even see Monica in this episode.
We don't even see Monica.
I was like,
Vision is still stuck in traffic.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And I get it. They got to drag it out and do everything like that. It's just that, I'm like I said, I'm being a little bit of a spoiled brat, I guess.
I mean, you are
guilty about this whole shit, dog.
Now I want to defend Ty a little bit, because I feel like if anything, this episode has showed us that we need to respect people's feelings and what they're going through. So Ty, your feelings are valid, and I hope that take your mind and twist it into something that you don't believe. You know what I mean? So you feel what you feel.
He said, we hear you, we see you.
Big heart.
My inner insurrectionist and say, "Fuck your feelings."
Exactly.
This episode was a flat. How do you not like it? First of all, we get to finally see what happened with the young Wanda. Like, we get to see little Wanda, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we see little Wanda and little Pietro, not Fietro, but Pietro. We get to see what it is that made her so into the Dick Van Dyke I Love Lucy. We saw the actual shows that she was mimicking. Because we sat here and we said, "Oh, it's Malcolm in the Middle. Oh, it's I Love Lucy," and it actually was Malcolm in the Middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something reveal.
Yep.
So for you to sit and bitch and moan, frankly, about like this, everything that we want in the episode is in this episode. And you know what else we discovered? Did you see what happened when little Pietro and little Wanda first came out? They addressed these two people as who? Mama and Papa.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, you stepdaddy.
My first thought was, that's not Magneto, right? So are we now exposed to the fact that Magneto was just a sperm donor? Okay. Or was he even a sperm donor? Was Wanda and Pietro simply created
and given to these people?
Right. From Wolverine. Because I mean, we also saw that they talked about when she was working with the terrorist organization that she was working with. All right, and went through that whole scene with when they were. I think it wasn't Hydra. What was the name of the organization that was with? I can't remember. But we saw them working through that whole ordeal where they actually exposed her to the stone. So this whole time, her whole life, bro, has been built around Stark and that Infinity Stone.
Yep.
When she was originally exposed to it, that's something that helped magnify her powers, which she didn't even realize. And when one big question mark that Agatha threw up in the air was, if you recall, Agatha was like, yo, so what happened? Did you stop the bomb?
Mhm.
Did you stop the bomb? And she's like, no, it was a dud. She's like, what was it? Like she doesn't even know.
Right.
Like her
a witch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, oh, there was a simple such and such spell. What kind of spell was it? Like a simple
Probability hex.
probability spell.
Yo,
I was like, what are you talking about? It was a dud. And she's like,
she's like Nick Cannon in Drumline. Like, look, I know how to do it. I just don't know how to read the music. Like, I'll just.
Exactly.
Oh man, that was
That's perfect.
How
That's
points for that
perfect.
one.
So I'm trying to figure out and then we learn not only. I mean, this episode was packed full of so much shit. So I'm just trying to understand why Ty is tripping. Like it was in color. Like I don't know why it was the whole episode was in color.
I think you're missing the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is every week, every single weekend, we unwrap this stuff. Number one, we I don't know about everybody here, but most of us read the comic books. You know what I'm saying? So we know the backstory of Wanda. Like this, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to Wanda's parents, we know that Wanda had adopted parents. That Magneto is her biological father. Now he was never based on the comic books anyway. He was her biological father. So a lot of this stuff that they're unwrapping this late in the thing, we've already, as Marvel fans, already done the unwrapping of that part. You know what I'm saying? So some of it I would have liked to see, maybe just omit that and give us something new that we weren't, ready for. Like the fact that we saw little Wanda and little Pietro. So what? You know what I mean? Because you made that a point, we saw little Pietro and little Wanda, and they did nothing. Then we saw them watch TV. That's what we saw. We saw them get jolted by an explosion.
Ellis got hit by a bomb. That
was probably the most exciting moment of seeing Pietro. Was to see them get jolted like crazy because they snapped them up. They was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that explosion jolted them seriously. So that was some good acting on the jolt. But other than that, I didn't give a fuck about seeing little Pietro and little Wanda. I didn't even give a fuck about seeing their parents who had no powers. So I'm just saying, me again. I'm being spoiled. I know that, but there's a reason because Kevin Feige has done all of this building up, and I've been patient with y'all, just waiting, oh yeah, we can't wait for the ending and wait for this is the last episode before the last episode, and I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you built it up. I'm telling you, the last part of the episode was ooh, that next episode. But then what if that episode comes and then we get a whole bunch of dragon again? I'm gonna be like, all right, see,
you're gonna be sick when it's a Maury show spinoff.
That's gonna be
Maury.
I'm gonna be like, nah, man.
Now, if next week there's a flashback, that's gonna be Ty's villain origin story right there. It's gonna be a Omega Nexus level villain.
Not the credit sign, but the flashback.
Yeah, just the crash. I mean, well, okay. So, all right. So let's unpack a few things. All right. So with Agatha, all right, we now know that Agatha, as you predicted, as you said correctly last week, Ty, when she permeates somebody with her powers, they turn purple, right? So that's a fact. We saw that they definitely do turn purple, which is now a little alarming because we still have this to reckon with. because we still haven't gotten this part solved yet. Like, what exactly is happening here with Wanda? Agatha now looking like she may have actually penetrated the mind of our future star, Monica Rambeau. Mm-hmm. So now it is official. The purple equals Agatha Harkness powers. See, we can draw these lines. So it's possible that maybe in the next few episodes, we may see actually our beloved hero, Monica, become somebody who works against Wanda, who we still don't know if Wanda is actually the villain or not. You know what I'm saying? But I think one of the most exciting parts of this season, of this particular episode, was the end credit scene. Did you see after the credits? In true Marvel form, we are now exposed to what I told y'all was going to happen last week. Great vision.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
It's happening. I jumped out of my seat. And I was like, I told them motherfuckers that shit was going to happen, y'all. And it looked even doper. And so now we have one imaginary Vision and Gray Vision lurking outside Westview.
Is he evil?
We don't know. I don't think in the comics, I don't think he has any control, right? Like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Not initially.
Right. So he's stronger, okay, than Vision, than the one that because first of all, he ain't got any about his little girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't got to worry about him falling in love and having no issues. You know what I mean? Because let's just admit, we haven't really discussed the fact that Wanda is in love with a vibrator. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's get real. Like, I wonder what it feels like, you know, when you're dealing with a dude made out of vibranium. You know what I mean? I mean, like, you know,
that's an expensive vibrator. $5 billion.
Imported from a Wakanda
vibrator.
Yeah, so you know it's like Mandingo freaking low. So it now makes sense why Wanda is so into Vision, you know, because he's got a complete Wakandan package associated with him. You know what I mean? Let me stop there. It's a family show.
It is. My bad. Damn.
It's not.
I'm messing with you.
But I'm still, I mean, listen, I'm normally on Ty's side with like, oh, come on, give me a break. This is bullshit. But this episode was good, man. The only thing that I still think that they teasing us with is they're not really giving us a real clue as to why they keep showing this to us. You know what I'm saying? I really, 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 really want to know what the fuck is going on with these quote unquote. Go ahead. Yes.
I think we're going to get a peek of this in the last episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like in the last episode, it's going to be a showdown. Like, it's either going to be the make or break if the kids make it or if they die.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like it's going to be like a showdown between Wanda and, what you call it?
Agatha?
Monica Rambeau.
Oh, yes, true.
Like, because remember, the last that we saw of Monica, she was trying to go into the basement and Quicksilver stopped her. Pietro, you know what I'm saying? He stopped her and was like, hey, peeping Toms. You know what I'm saying? I forgot exactly what he the verb.
Snoop is gonna snoop.
Snoop is gonna snoop.
That's what it was. Yeah. So, and we don't really know what this next episode is going to have in store for us. I feel like that's what we're going to see is a showdown between Monica using Agatha's powers and Monica's now new powers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be epic. And I feel like Doctor Strange is going to maybe come in and maybe catch Agatha and trap her in some kind of some time contraption or do something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's maybe how we're going to see him.
Yeah. I think that's ultimately the tie-in. I think that what they're doing is TJ. I think what they're doing, man, is they're actually going to use the last episode to tease the multiverse, the Doctor Strange multiverse movie, because I don't know if you all have been made aware of this, and I'm interested to hear your take on this, TJ. But after these last couple episodes, that's it, bro. Ain't no WandaVision season 2.
What? That's news to me. What do you mean?
Nah, bro. That's it, man. This is a mini series. They have not confirmed that there's going to be a season 2. I don't know whether or not that's the way they intended, or if that's going to end up being the end result. But for right now, bro, we ain't looking at no more seasons, man. I think she's going to go to the Doctor Strange movie. That's what they say. What do you think about that, bro?
Yeah.
Yo, that's news. That's news to me. I'm sitting there scratching, oh man, ain't no more Ain't got no more episodes coming. I got the Twitch. Well, actually, I would say this. This episode actually is the first episode that I watched that actually felt like a Marvel movie. It felt like an extension from the Marvel movie. So I don't look. There's too much money to be made to be playing around with this. Too many people that are invested into the actual show. Maybe it's not WandaVision. Maybe it's Wanda and Monica. And they just don't want to tip us to it. And as far as the picture with the silhouette, we've seen how Marvel likes to tease us as fans already, because we saw Hulk running in Wakanda and his ass got yoked by Thanos, and we never saw him running in Wakanda. So sometimes they do certain things to kind of throw people off track. So I'm not 100% convinced that there's going to be some sort of that tie-in like we think it is, because it's too obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, I want to say just to TJ's point, it's just because WandaVision may be ending doesn't mean these stories are ending. I think we got to start thinking outside of the TV context and start thinking more into the comic book context and the way they tell stories and kind of in runs. It's like, here's this story, but this character is going to show up again and again and again, and their story is going to crisscross. So WandaVision season 2 sounds great, but we're probably still going to get that in some form, whether it's the fallout from what's happening, all these different worlds opening up, that kind of thing. So don't be too sad.
And just to like I was saying, like I told you, earlier this season, it's been confirmed. It was confirmed early on that the last episode you would see the cameo by Doctor Strange, and they've kind of piggybacked that a couple times, and and said that that's definitely gonna happen. So the fact that we're seeing this trailer, he is going to appear. What capacity, I don't know. But again, this whole WandaVision series was literally the platform to navigate into all the other worlds. It was so the idea that they're not having a season 2, it makes sense, because Wanda will be floating from one world to the next. So she's gonna probably be in the the multiverse of madness. Then she'll probably be in maybe Spider-Man, or whatever else they have built for her. She could be in the Secret Wars and all of that. So you never know. All of these series tie in. So it wouldn't be a surprise from this point on if you see Wanda Maximoff or Scarlet Witch, because we won't even probably refer to her as Wanda Maximoff for a long time, or if at all ever again. So just look at it from that perspective, that this all ties in. So WandaVision doesn't need a season 2, because it's going to have a season 3, season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5. Each time it fluctuates through different worlds and multiverse.
And that could still. Oh, I'm sorry, Vince. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, guys.
I was gonna say that could still also, like what Ty just said, that could still also go into what I was hoping for. Ultron could come back. He could be inside. The new Ray.
There you go again.
Don't think I forgot. Don't think I forgot.
Every week you campaigning for Ultron. I swear to God, every week. It's like, if this is the week Ultron's coming back, I just know it. I did this last week. What did I tell you last week when you said that? I said we're more likely to get Gray Vision before Ultron. And guess what we got? Gray Vision. There is no Ultron. There's
not. Well, listen, dude. I'm not gonna sit here and let you talk all that trash about saying all that when you've been Mephisto every week.
I've been saying the same thing.
All right.
It's still a strong possibility that.
Yeah, but Yas and Ultron is still a possibility too. You sitting there roasting her about that?
No. Wait, hold on. Thank you, Vince. My dog. Hold on. Hi. To touch base on what you literally just said, my man. Okay, they're going to be doing things with the comic books. Are they not? Is Ultron not in the damn comic book?
Yes.
Man,
come on, Ty.
We can have 2, 3, 4 seasons. Then what you think? Ultron's got to pop back up, my man. Duh.
Okay, we'll see.
I know this is probably a weird theory. Is it possible that Mephisto is Hayward? Am I way off base?
I
think Hayward is a scroll. I think Hayward is a scroll.
You think he's the scroll?
Yeah,
I
think he's a scroll. I think he's one of the people that they replaced. Yeah, absolutely.
That would make a lot of sense. That would make perfect sense. And in this episode that we just watched, not just for the layman's, hallelujah. We saw that he was back then when Vision was being taken apart, right? So if he was really a scroll, right? If they're looking to manifest the powers that are Vision, why take him apart? You know, why do all that?
They're trying to figure out how he works.
Well, he didn't say that he was taking him apart permanently. He said we've dismantled and put him back together time after time, and because they've been trying to reactivate him.
They're trying to get him powered up.
Yeah, they're trying to bring him back to life, but they couldn't. They didn't know that Wanda could do that. That's why he was like, you can bring him back. You know what I'm saying? That's why.
But how did he know that?
I think he does too.
He's Ultron.
I don't think in this context, I don't think they knew it until they actually tried it, though. Like, I think it was, they were talking about just basically like this being an experiment. Like, they're trying to get him back online however they can. So they probably tried a lot of different stuff. Right. But this was the first time they ever had Wanda's energy, and they were like, okay, we could try this, I guess. Right. And then boom, it works.
I think what TJ was saying was the reason he said he thinks he knows is because when Wanda first came and saw Hayward, he said to her, so that's the only, because she was like, I just want to bury him. Yep. Right. And his response was more like, is that all you really want to do?
How did he know? Yeah.
You don't want to bring him back to life, or like?
And one was like, I don't even know how to do that. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. So they probably had already done their research as most agencies do, and they probably knew all of her powers and her capabilities. And so that's probably why he kind of said that to her. Like, is that, you don't want to bring him back because you know you could do that, right? Oh, you didn't know?
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, you know how
he did know. Yeah.
Well, doesn't Shield and Hydra kind of have like some of the same information, because like once Hydra ended, Shield kind of took over, you know what I'm saying, like for the good of the society and everything. So if she was made in a Hydra facility, they obviously knew the capabilities of her powers, you know what I'm saying? Like after, because remember when we saw her touch the Loki's scythe, we saw just they literally it was like one of the episodes, like that she didn't want to see, didn't want everyone to see what kind of fabrication was actually there. It was like a blimp. Remember that? You know what I'm saying? Like the people who are monitoring her, they didn't see anything. It just kind of skipped real quick. So they must have, done some tests on her, and they obviously know the capabilities of her powers. And that's probably why Hayward knows that.
Did you notice? Did you guys notice that when she did, when that light shined from her, I guess infusing with the Infinity Stone? Did you notice that her costume and everything changed, and she looked like Scarlet Witch?
Yep.
Yeah, like she literally in that light that was shining, the orange light. Her silhouette appeared as the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
That was revealing. And I don't know whether or not that is going to be revealed in the next few episodes. I get the sense that we're not going to be satisfied with the way that this concludes, because it's going to move right into one of the next movies. And I would be upset. Yeah. Wait. Do you think that is going to? I mean, because it's already been confirmed. I didn't get a chance to upload this, but it's already been confirmed that Wanda either will play a prominent role or will have at least a role in
Doctor Strange,
the multiverse, in the Strange multiverse.
Yeah, but it's Marvel. How do they always keep getting us to keep buying it? They keep cliffhangering our asses and getting us excited. And yes, exactly. I'm gonna give you a little taste. You're gonna get it. This is the day. Buy your fucking tickets. Subscribe. Yeah, they already know. Like they literally, the people are just they're like this. Like, watch how many come.
We've literally manifested a whole culture around WandaVision predictions and theories. Just to figure out what's going to happen next. So, with that being said, why don't y'all, and let's go around the room. Let's start with our guest TJ. Man, what are your predictions, man? What you think's gonna happen next, bro? Like, do you have any idea what to expect in the next few episodes? How it's gonna end? Just talk to us, man. You know, it don't got to be right. You know, a layman such as yourself.
Yes, as a certified layman, one, I think that Mephisto, I think he does. I think that is going to be the cliffhanger to this next episode, to the last episode. Okay. And I also think that Agatha Harkness, she reveals that those kids are not actually Wanda's. Ooh. And I think Wanda goes ballistic, and then she actually kind of have some sort of self-actualization. And is like, all right, I'm the Scarlet Witch, bitch. I'm gonna show you. You took them, not my kids. Okay, and right. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, so that's my prediction. I think that the reveal is that those aren't your kids, and then if those aren't your kids, how did they come to be? And then I think that's how they ingratiate Mephisto. So.
Good, Tyrone. Optimus Ty. What's your prediction?
I'm gonna start my prediction with a question. Was what we saw in this last episode an accurate representation of history, or was it Agatha with even more control than we realized? Because that purple Marvel Studios emblem, like or opening in the beginning, that could be them saying, "Hey, Agatha has control here." And these ideas could be actually implanted into Wanda's mind while she's mining for information. So I guess my prediction is that, and I might be the guy in the sports show that says something really stupid like the Jaguars are going to win the Super Bowl, and then like a year later, he's got to come back and be like, yeah, I was stupid, blah blah blah. So I'm gonna be that guy and be like, yep, Agatha has even more control than we thought. And was actually playing Wanda this whole time, and what we're going to see is Wanda completely breaking free of Agatha's control, and what will follow will be some sort of extremely powerful battle that just messes up reality as we know it.
Well, that's fascinating. I don't know about.
That's what you say. That's what you say to a crazy person yelling at you on the street. Yeah, that's fascinating.
Again, we hear you, we see you.
Nah, I get that, but that's a good point. I mean, I have an answer to your question that you asked, but I want to go to Tyrone to Bad Ty next. Since we got the trifecta going, what's your predictions, homeboy? What you think, man?
I think this final episode, if it can live up to my expectations, I think there's multiple villains at play. I think that if we are to look at it as a platform to, kind of catapult us into these other universes, I feel like multiple villains would make sense. Doctor Strange showing up, there's got to be there in context, there's got to be a reason for him to show up. And as it stands right now, if we have a battle with Agatha Harkness and Scarlet Witch, with Scarlet Witch being as powerful as she is, we're going to need someone like a Doctor Strange to come in and maybe, pull her into some type of portal, and to just so that she doesn't fracture, reality in that multiverse or whatever the case may be. But with all that being said, like the fact that TJ, just mentioned Mephisto, I've been on the Mephisto train as well. I still think that he may be the person behind it, but also the little pokes that we've gotten about Nightmare. And there's been some chatter about the Grim Reaper, death. So there could possibly be multiple villains, but I think in this last episode, if everything holds true and we get what we want, we're gonna see a massive battle where the new Grey Vision probably kills her, reality vision, which causes her to lose it. And that's when we see Doctor Strange.
Yes, predictions.
I just want to touch base on the fact that Lisa totally. All right, let's just pay homage to Lisa, our real Blerd right now. Lisa, that's what's up, dog. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I'm not the only one. That's what's up. Right,
we told you, we hear you, we see you, Yas.
But for real though, I honestly, I think that possibly we could definitely see Doctor Strange at the end. I feel like they're just like I said, they're gonna cliffhanger the fuck out of us because that's how they make their money. They know we're junkies. We're gonna go buy it. We're gonna go see it. We're gonna find it. We're gonna pay it whatever they want, to get it, put it streaming. So, but I think that what's gonna happen is like Doctor Strange is gonna pop up and possibly I feel like Wanda, her powers are going to possibly get to a new level of extreme because Agatha is baiting her right now. If you haven't noticed, she's baiting her. She's like, you have all this immense power, but you don't know how to channel it or how to use it properly. And I do, and I want to know how to basically get that power. So I think that Agatha is like baiting her right now. Like you guys, in the comic books, she's supposed to be her mentor, correct? So if she's mentoring her, what's the ultimate way to mentor her? You know what I'm saying? Like she's gonna hone in on her grief, on her misery, on her pain right now. And she's already playing with that fact with capturing the boys, holding them hostage. So she can see, like Wanda can physically see that she has them by the throat. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put that into play too. Like, how is that going to end? We didn't really see too much, like it stopped. The episode stopped there. So I feel like Agatha is, she's definitely baiting her just like she does in the comic book so she can own in on her true power. And I think that's when I think Wanda is the one who creates this reality in the multiverse, this rift in the multiverse, because she just exalts all this energy and I think maybe Agatha possibly kills the kids, and that's why she's taken over the edge, because now she knows the Vision is truly gone, her brother is truly gone, now her kids are truly, she has nobody, so I think that's what we're gonna really see. And then like I said, I think Captain Marvel and Wanda are gonna fucking have an epic battle, and I cannot wait to see that. Like girl power all the way, bro. Cannot wait to see
Hey Vince, can I put one more out there? I think in the next episode, bold prediction, I think they're actually going to say the word mutant.
Yeah.
Oh, you think
that's my bold? And next, because they keep teasing it. Remember, Agatha was like, "I've heard myths of what you are. You don't even know how powerful or how dangerous you are." And they were like, "Oh, Scarlet Witch." I think it's been building up, and that's the crack that they're going to give us. That's what they're going to give us. To be like, look, they're actually going to say something about mutants. That's my prediction for the next episode. Something to refer to actually confirming the word mutant.
That's a fair theory. I don't believe it. I think that it's
Am I heard? Do you hear me?
It's important by some house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's what she meant, TJ. I don't think
okay.
I don't think that when she said, I know what you are, you don't even know how powerful you are, she was talking about mutant. I think she was referring to her being the Scarlet Witch. I think that she at that time was familiar with the beginning of the episode starts, this most recent episode starts with her being burnt at the stake, as we know happened in the comics, and she still lives. She actually doesn't just live, she sucks the power from everybody that tries to kill her.
Yeah, that was
it thwarts that, and then flies off into the moon. So I think that she has. I don't think the word mutant is going to be coming out, but I do like the fact that your mind is going that way. My predictions are as such. I truly believe that in this next episode, I don't know if it's the next episode or not, but I truly believe we are about to see a colossal clash of multiple superpowered beings. I think that we're going to see Wanda versus Captain Monica Rambeau. Excuse me. Right? She's not there yet. I think that we are going to see that, and I think that what we're going to see is, because Ty was astute enough to notice that the purple eyes or the purple beings mean that you're under her power. I think that Wanda will face a Agatha powered Monica Rambeau. Number one. Number two, if this does stay true to the comics, then we know, and listen, spoiler alert, in the comics, Agatha kills the kids. All right. Agatha is like, look, bro, these kids ain't real. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you can't just go snapping your fingers and make yourself pregnant. Like, that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody got to wake your ass up. Pop, kids gone. And I think that drives her over the edge. I think that makes Scarlet Witch ultimately even more powerful. And she has a fake Vision on her side. But there's a real Vision outside of Westview. I think that the fake Vision and the real Vision also collide. And I think all of this stuff happens. I think that Wanda ends up becoming triumphant. And at the very end, right when it gets at its peak, that's when we have enter one Mr. Doctor Strange, who says, what the fuck is going on right here? And I come back and y'all are arguing in a freaking made up world, you know what I'm saying, where she's sitting there trying to reclaim her vibrator. And everybody thinks you're mad about it. Come with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to another movie and talk about this. You know what I'm saying? You smart. You important. I think that's what's going to happen. I think that it all ties together. And I disagree completely with Ty that we're going to see some sort of Spider-Man WandaVision mashup. Like, nowhere together, because Spider-Man, of course.
It's been reported again. Kevin Feige. Listen. I'm saying I'll be on top of this stuff, bro.
I do the research.
I said before they showed the trailer, before all of that we was gonna get Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, this is what they're reporting, that all of this is tying in. Like, yo, they literally, like, listen, the story, if everything holds true if they keep going with the comic book, in the comic book, Doctor Doom has a lot to do with Wanda.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, again, like like all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying, is tied in. All of these people are tied in. Fantastic Four had a lot to do with Agatha Harkness.
Yes.
So it's not so far-fetched to believe that there's a way to connect all of this, and that I told you, you know, there's no need for a WandaVision when Wanda's going to be navigating from each universe to each universe. Like, there's even a way at this point, with everything that's transpired in WandaVision, to even bring in Blade. Like, there's a lot of stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you unwrap this stuff and really delve deep, you can see that there's a lot of ways to tie in all of these different worlds. So, and it's not surprising because all these shows are coming. So
I do agree. I do, and Tyrone, you know, you're a reader too. I do think that there is a way to tie in the Fantastic Four as a conduit to Spider-Man, because Fantastic Four was kind of like a midpoint for comic books, right? Like you meet Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom goes into Spider-Man, and Spider-Man comes back, you know what I'm saying? And then you meet, you know, Silver Surfer's in the Secret War, Silver Surfer's in the Civil War, you know. So I do think there's a way to tie them in. As for Wanda being in Spider-Man 3 or something like that, get the fuck out of here, man. That's just not that's not happening, bro. It's not.
I do want to back up, Ty, because when at Comic-Con, when they did the release of all the upcoming shows, and they did trailers and they did dates and everything, the one bit of information that Kevin Feige and that Marvel was willing to give out was that WandaVision will tie directly into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and the next Spider-Man movie. And yeah, they said that's from Marvel. So whether or not these characters will be in there, they didn't say, but they did say will tie directly into.
Now, why you had to go? Why you got to go validate this motherfucker?
I am on the side of truth.
Nobody thinks I know what I'm talking about.
I am on the side of truth.
I get some validation, you know.
And I speak it when I know it. No, but I would think, and to help that out, to help that theory out a little bit, the last Spider-Man movie, Far From Home, they already started talking about the multiverse. Yeah. Whenever Nick Fury was talking about it, like, he knows the existence of the multiverse, and even though Quentin Beck, even though he ended up being a fraud, the multiverse theory they were talking about were accurate as far as we know. So, there's already that little connection with Spider-Man. So, and with Marvel's words, and at San Diego Comic-Con, we know that that's what our future holds.
All that makes sense, but fuck, man, why you gotta make Ty feel better?
We gotta
keep your foot on my neck.
The Hydra sticking together, bro.
Yeah, man, this is the freaking Ty-verse.
Would you say this is the multi?
Yeah, it's the multi.
Oh, put that on a t-shirt right now.
T-shirt. Oh,
the multiverse.
Yeah,
my friend.
That was so
I'm about to freeze up because I'm getting a call probably, but hopefully I don't. But one thing you did mention, Ty, that I'm excited to talk about is the fact that yes, we officially do have a actual name for the upcoming Spider-Man movie. Hallelujah. For those of y'all that did not see the trailer, our stars of the Spider-Man movie came out and gave us a little sneak peek, and at risk of being canceled, I'm not going to play it with the sound, but they came out, gave us some sort of at least jokey version of what it is that they went through to come up with the name, because we know there was all these different names. There was Spider-Man homeschool, Spider-Man stay away from home, Spider-Man work from home cooking, Spider-Man get your ass home before the lights come on. But now we know that it is actually Spider-Man No Way Home, and I think that is dope. And here's what I think is the dopest part about it. If you actually watch the whole trailer, you might notice that it says something. What's it say? I can't read that too well. Ty, what's that say at the very bottom?
It says only in movie theaters this Christmas.
So you mean to tell me that they're not going to put it on HBO Max, Netflix, Disney Plus for $30? Put it on the your jailbroken freaking goddamn what the Fire Stick? You know they're not going to do all of that. Ty, I know you so mad, bro, because I know you was ready to have that.
Nah, I'm not mad at all, because again, like that, and you've been disappointed because you've had the same energy every time, and later on, Marvel's like, I know we said we wasn't going to have it. Now, under the current circumstances, we're unfortunately going to have to charge you $30 to watch it on Disney Plus. We're really sorry. We're really sorry. And the next movie, we promise, is only going to be in theaters. Yeah. So,
bro.
So what you're saying is that means about as much as one of my predictions does. Is that what you're saying?
Well, according to the CD man at the 7-Eleven, that movie will be at homes everywhere. So we'll make $5. I didn't see everything, and we'll get everybody walking in.
Yeah, and you get the trailers. You get all the trailers before and everything. So,
in front of the the screen, trying to find a seat,
Nah. Look, man, it's reported, bro. It's on the internet. That means it's true. It's going to be theaters, bro. And this was like posted yesterday by a reliable source, not some of those we got covered, some of the other joints. So here's my thing. Marvel recognizes that this movie is not some made for home, look it in your living room type of flick. If Marvel needs to, they will buy the vaccine themselves, and they will put it on your way inside the movie theater. Yeah. Marvel got the money to do it. Don't act like they don't.
A dope-ass Marvel syringe,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You get a nice little
give me my powers. Like I'll stand in line so quick. Somebody put Marvel on a syringe.
I'll give you this, Vinny. Dependent on this. This is all dependent on the success of Black Widow. If Black Widow is successful playing on Disney Plus, then Marvel won't be as like how they're so gung ho about we're gonna play it in theaters. If Black Widow puts up does these numbers that are ridiculous playing on Disney Plus, you'll see Spider-Man on Disney Plus. Just know that.
Okay.
When is that coming out?
Black Widow comes out in May. Unfortunately. Because of people like Ty that demand that it's released on Max and all this other bullshit, and I don't think that, and frankly, Ty, I completely disagree with you, man. I don't think it makes a difference. I think Black Widow could do extremely well online, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, that's cute. Now we're going to do extremely well back in the movie." I think that the way that Marvel is looking at Spider-Man No Way Home is it represents a return to normalcy. Spider-Man No Way Home is meant to be what Eddie Murphy's Coming to America 2 originally was meant to be, which was a return to normalcy. We've already got TJ's favorite president, Joe Biden, saying that we're going to...
Please don't put that on record.
I had to throw that in. I'm sorry. Hey, yo, we about to get.
Did y'all hear that record scratch?
We about to get back there. We don't want no problem, TJ. Calm down.
Disclosure after the show, I did not.
Listen, Joe Biden still owe me money. All right, Joe Biden owe me money. I don't want to talk about nobody that owe me a check. All right.
He still owe you. All right, you're 2 racks. But yeah, man. He already said the administrations and the health departments and all of them, they're trying to say that either this Christmas or next Christmas, we should have some sort of at least return to normalcy by then if we've got enough vaccines distributed, whether you take it or not. I hope. Look, I'm not here to talk about all of that other stuff. All I'm saying is, with regard to Marvel releasing a movie that is exclusively in theaters, my man, I don't think that they're backing down off of that, period. It doesn't matter whether or not WandaVision does well, whether Doctor Strange, whether freaking Falcon and Winter Soldier, whether or not Black Widow sells 30 million.
I think you're wrong.
It doesn't matter. They are not going to put Spider-Man. This movie is not going to be a home. You're not going to watch this in your living room, Ty.
Bro, listen. I would really go with you, but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna refer you back to about 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. You had the same energy with me about Black Widow. You was so like, yo, they're not gonna play it on Disney Plus. I told you. I told you. That was you. And then the next day, they was like, well, and we're gonna have to play it on Disney Plus. And then you know what you did? Nothing. You did nothing. You didn't say nothing. So I'm gonna again allow you to rant and rave and use and put all make the veins in your head and your forehead come out. But ultimately, it's not going to matter because on Christmas, if we're still in this epidemic and if we are still having all these people dying, it don't matter that you got this energy for the theater. The motherfucker's not going to go die to go watch a fucking movie, dude.
Nobody's. Oh my god! Like we're talking about Christmas, man. Like, dude. And
okay.
It's the spirit of Christmas.
Look. Again, you're speaking from a level of optimism and not speaking on reality. The reality is people are still dying.
That is freaking February, man. It's February, bro. Like
they should have said only in theaters. They should have said only in theaters in Florida because Florida's the only one where they're like, yo, it don't even exist. So we're like, oh, what virus? Look.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah. You're right. We
didn't see the fine print.
Yeah. Bro,
I think
I'm gonna make happen, man.
TJ, I'm gonna remake this poster and I'm gonna put only in Florida. That bad boy, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I truly am 100% convinced that this is never, and this is indicative of the smart thinking of the Marvel Studios crew to know that it is not worth even taking a chance in trying to put it somewhere where it's not going to generate Black Panther-esque type numbers. I mean, ultimately, they're still trying to. Marvel's always in competition with itself, right? When Black Panther hit the billion mark, Avengers Infinity War was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, we better make sure we hit that mark again because we can't fall short of a movie that was based on one comic book character with all the comic book characters. And with Spider-Man Far From Home, with No Way Home, then we're not just looking at Spider-Man. We're looking at Spidey, that's Tom. Spidey, that's Andrew, Spidey, that's Toby. And we're talking about merging all of these characters from the prior Spider-Man universes. We're talking about Doc Ock coming back. We're talking about Electro coming back. We're talking about possibly even the two love interests, Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy, coming back. We have a whole lot to look for. So they're not going for, we want to beat the last Spider-Man movie. I feel like they're going for, we can actually compete with Avengers Infinity War Endgame. And that cannot be done on a streaming service, Ty. I don't care what the fuck. Hey,
you're not being realistic, bro.
It cannot happen.
Listen, let me show you something. Let me just show you something that you think you know. So in China, in China, there was an anime movie that they just made that just outsold
I want to see the books. I don't believe that. Do you believe Chinese numbers? No disrespect.
What I'm trying to tell you is it was streamed. The movie was streamed and it beat all type of numbers and it was streamed and it's not even a Marvel movie. Is what I'm trying to get you to understand.
But it's in China. Do you know how many people they got in China?
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
You're about to make my point. So you just said it's in China.
Yes.
So since when has the MCU not been a global phenomenon? They are a global phenomenon. They are watched in every country around the world. So you mean to tell me that if you put it on a streaming service, which there are countries that don't even do the theaters and only rely on streaming, so you're gonna tell me that you can't make money off a movie like this?
No, and let me tell you why, Ty. You haven't perhaps done this research, but having been in China, they don't have it like we do, bro. You don't just pop on your Netflix and watch things on stream. They don't have access to the internet like that. Everything is monitored. You have to act like that. Yes. In fact, one of these weeks, I'm gonna have my homeboy Mac on, who currently lives in Shanghai. In order to access shit like Disney Plus, you have to have a VPN, which gives you a conduit to get to these sites. You can't just access Disney Plus like that. So it's not. We can. The reason why it did so well internationally is because it was in theaters that allowed people to come and purchase those tickets. It wasn't just them clicking on, going into their neighbor's login site.
But they didn't have to.
These type of movies, bro. It don't work like that.
No. You're speaking from.
Oh my God! Are we doing this? Are we doing this? Are we really doing this right?
No, because again, you're talking from a previous year. Like, this is not now. This is what we're dealing with. We are dealing with a streaming age. We are in a streaming age because of what COVID has done to society. So for the fact that you're over here talking about something that happened 10 years ago before COVID, as opposed to COVID now, is not. You're not really making sense. As to say, a streaming network or streaming service is not going to be successful when most people are home and trying to stay away from other people is just not logical.
All right.
That doesn't even make sense.
All right. Let's take Exhibit A, Your Honor.
I want to take time for a question. How it is right now.
Yeah.
We needed some ministry music. That was a sermon. I was like,
I feel like I just got yelled at by my dad.
Pass the offering plate.
No. All right. Sorry. After that, whatever doesn't matter.
Well, Tyrone, I'm interested in your take on this, but let's look at history. All right. Big blockbuster movie, Mulan, based in Asia, was supposed to be, which was actually a dope movie, and I know you saw it, Ty.
It was pretty good.
But you're gonna compare Mulan to a movie?
It's not about. I'm not comparing it to the movie. I'm comparing the experience of having to rip it from the theaters and put it on a streaming site and how it impacts the numbers. And that, unfortunately, is what will happen. I am going to predict right now that that's what's going to happen to our beloved Black Widow. Unfortunately, she's going to suffer at the box office. And the reason why she's going to suffer isn't because people don't want to see it and don't want to pay for it. It's because they want to put it out there so that they don't fuck up the timeline. Like, all of these movies happen in sequence, so they can't come out with certain movies or shows afterwards because of the tie-in with the MCU. You laughing, but this is the fact, bro. Like, there's no way that nothing.
Bro, you're saying rush this movie.
You've
been waiting for this movie for 2.5 years. How is that rushed? How is that? How are they rushing?
It's rushing because they're putting it on the streamers.
2.5 years. Please tell me how that's rushing.
I feel like he's blowing me off the screen right now. He's yelling.
I'm just saying. You're saying that they're rushing to get it out. We have been waiting on Black Widow, Morbius, all of these movies for years now. Yeah. Like, they can't. If they continue to try to wait for the epidemic to slow down, we'll be waiting for another year. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Is you're speaking from a perspective of when we could go to the theaters. I'm talking from a perspective of we aren't in that anymore. Right. We're in a realm and an era right now where going to the movies is just not feasible. Like, a lot of people are not trying to risk their lives to go see a movie. Yeah, so go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was just going to say my only argument. I hear what you're saying. I hear you.
I have that suit on to watch Black Widow in theaters, my nigga. That's all I got.
I have a third possibility.
That suit on with a face shield mask, all that shit to go watch that shit in theater, just so I can jump up and be like, "Fuck yeah, did you see that?" I don't care if you're in the movie theater with me or not. Okay?
I'm gonna have my vaccine gummies like this.
Right.
There's a third possibility. I think there's what we haven't considered is there might be a world where Black Widow gets released in theaters and on streaming and kills at the box office and kills on streaming. So it's not a replacement source of income, but it's a supplemental source of income. And both of them combined end up being even more lucrative for Marvel than we even realized they would be. So streaming, what we may end up seeing down the line and even after the pandemic, we may see that it is actually more valuable for the Marvel Studios to release on both platforms, whether streaming and theaters. So that's a third option in a world where we could all have what we want, where Ty gets what he wants, where Vince gets what he wants, and we're all just living this beautiful fantasy world. And that's the way I live my life.
Listen, spoken like a politician. That was a great hit. Let's all come together. Let's all come together under one Marvel flag, please.
Please accept these empty promises and please accept this fence straddling as a good indication of what's going to happen in the future. Thank you for your time. My name is Tyrone Thornhill, and I approve this message.
Tyrone was the one that I agree. Well, why can't mommy and daddy just live in the same house?
No, but I agree. I agree with you, Ty. I really do. Like, I mean, me and Vince we've had this discussion since the beginning of it. So, and I've said that, and he's just totally against streaming altogether. I've said they probably will do the same thing. You know, some people go to the movie, some people play, watch it at their house and everything like that. My thing is this, though, and I've said this, and I stand on this. I do believe that if Black Widow is successful on stream, if they do.
That's so funny.
That's my cousin Sean. Yo, what's going on, Sean? I'll be right there with you with a stormtrooper mask, homeboy.
Yo, man, but I do believe that if Black Widow is successful, as I do think it will be, just because of what Wanda's been able to do and the kind of buzz that it's been able to create, I do think that people it does allow you to become a little bit more comfortable with watching the MCU on your television. It's indicative of the talks that we have every week and how excited you guys are about the episodes. I don't see a tapering off or a slow burn of it when it comes to the MCU movies. I think that if Black Widow is successful on stream, I do think from here on out, and I would agree, like I said with you, Ty, that you'll see it streaming on both platforms. You know, you'll see it on in the theaters for those who want to risk it, and for those who don't, they'll be at home watching it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so Ty, let me ask you this: do you think that we're gonna still be living in the same pandemic-esque type of quarantine, mask, everybody kind of afraid, looking at the numbers, seeing 500, 600, 700,000, like world by December? You think that's?
Yes, I still think we'll still be in. I mean, I know, because your optimism is because you want it to fit your narrative, but at the end of the day, the truth is the numbers are still going up. And ultimately, a lot of people are going to resist the vaccine. That's number one, because a lot of people feel like it's been put out, too soon, and whatever the case may be, whatever your holdups are. So the whole idea of herd immunity is we have to reach a certain amount of number of people infected before we start to see it start to dissipate a little bit. But if I'm being honest and I'm being realistic, then yes, I do believe that the pandemic will be going on probably until next year sometime.
I actually agree with him only because of the fact, like you guys were saying, Florida, basically the coronavirus is in Florida. Well, what keeps happening in Florida? Didn't we just have the races, the turkey rod run? Bike week's about to come up. We're not putting a pause on all these events where people are widespread and they're all together, not wearing masks, touching everything, body, other people, constantly not washing their hands. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. No matter what, we're not gonna get rid of this within this year, only because of the fact that we keep going. And it's not just like the normal people. There's during freaking race week, or the truck rally thing that happened, truck week or whatever, there was like 50,000 people in Florida. For what reason? To watch some trucks ride down the damn beach? Let's be serious. You know what I mean? So it's just people are just like, well, I want to go do this and I want to go do that. Fuck the COVID. It's not, it's not going to affect me, but they keep spreading it and they keep bringing it back home. And that's the problem. We keep outreaching it. It's not just in one spot. It starts in one area and then goes back to its home. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's just like, we're going to keep having this problem because we're not listening.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff I didn't even know existed. Like they're driving on the beach. What's going on?
Okay, you guys didn't know that. So I don't exactly. I think it's right before race week. There's truck week. If you guys don't know, I live in Daytona Beach, so I get to freaking deal with it all the time. There was 50,000 people just to be riding in these obnoxious ass trucks, souped up trucks. They're some of them are freaking awesome. I'm not gonna lie, but literally closed down for a week because you cannot get from literally one end of International to the other end of International without taking at least an hour, because all these trucks and people and everything, they're just walking around and they'll literally have at the races, where they do the races, the 500 and stuff like that, they'll literally have people go in there and do events and stuff like that, not wearing masks. I'll drive by there, they're not wearing masks. There's people walking around everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just all these people come in from these different areas and they don't go home. And then we have snowbirds on top of that. The snowbirds come down here and everybody knows that. And then we keep having these events. And what are snowbirds? Aren't they the old people?
We'll be dealing with aspects of the pandemic for the next 5 years. It's changed the way businesses are. There are certain businesses that are not going to come back, restaurants, those type of things. So even the culture of wearing a mask, even if people say, oh, there's a vaccine, you can go ahead and get it, people are still going to be wearing masks. So it's actually changed the way that we do things in our way of life for a while. So
our society.
Yeah, I went to a movie. I went to a movie theater I forget what movie I was watching. Some lady was just up there. She had a big bucket of popcorn, big drink, and she was like, I hope it doesn't concern you, but I used to have COVID, but I'm good now. And I was like, this is wild. I was like, yo, I was like, appreciate that. I went back, got my money, took my mom out to the movie. It was like, yo, let's roll. I was like, yeah. And then we had to quarantine. So that was that. So yeah, people are not going to take that risk. She's like, I used to have it, but I'm good. Yeah. I was like,
that's
I trust you, stranger. Yeah.
So yeah.
Like I work in healthcare, and that's a lot of what I'm seeing is like, oh well, I had it for like 1 or 2 days, but I'm fine now, so I'm just gonna go out and do all the normal things. And I'm like, no, you need to quarantine. Just because you're okay now doesn't mean you're not able to pass it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people, they're carriers of it, and they don't even know that they're carriers of it, and they're just like, oh well, I haven't gotten sick, so it's fine. But everybody they've been around has been sick.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, listen, you guys are not helping my cause here.
It's up and down. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of controversy only because like we're not complying, but we still want to live life. You know what I'm saying? We still want to travel. We still want to go to the movies. We still want to do normal things, but we're just like virus. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to wear a mask.
Vince's final argument is, but it's Christmas, guys. It's Christmas. But it's the Christmas spirit.
I'll go out with Christmas mask on and my hat and go match it. You know what I'm saying?
He's like angels in the outfield. It's like it can happen.
I just want to. Can I just add after all that? I just want to add. Damn. That's it. That's all. That's the most optimistic I could be at. Just damn.
That's the most negative thing Tyrone has ever said. Oh my God. Listen, there is no way in hell, no way, period, you will ever get me to stay home and watch a Spider-Man movie that has been released for theaters. It's not going to happen.
We'll make sure we put that on your tombstone. We'll make sure we put that right up there. Here lies the number one Spider-Man fan all the way to his death. Like he was the number one fan all the way up to his last breath. Thank you, COVID.
And put my tombstone in the theater. I want to be buried on the middle row, right in the middle, like with 3D glasses.
3D glasses. No,
because I mean, look, bro. I mean, if we get, I mean, I know that there is, all right. Pandemic aside, all right. Let's just. This movie itself is set to be monumental. I mean, this is Spider-Man. Let's go ahead and just tip our hats to Marvel for knowing how to freak this whole ordeal. Unlike other comic book franchises that we'll get into a little later, Marvel has managed to make us love characters that we didn't know we loved, to hold us off between us seeing the characters that we do love, right? Like, who really legit was asking for WandaVision? Who was asking for WandaVision? Who was really? Look, who was really asking for Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I'm still not asking for it.
They was asking for these things. But Marvel is smart. They're like, look, we'll go ahead and we'll drop a few little, morsels between our big cakes. Unlike DC, who's like, look, Superman, Batman, Flash, Superman, Batman.
DC's like, no foreplay. Let's just get to the action, boss. Let's do it.
Here's Wonder Woman. Here's Aquaman.
Yeah. At least can we just take a moment and just bask in the brilliance of Kevin Feige, who we all were when Disney acquired them? We were like, yo, come on, man. Like, Disney's going to mess this all up. But they have done a phenomenal job of giving us a balance of theatrical versus home, which I know it's all the same for Ty. Everything, everything in the house. You know what I'm saying? I don't think, Yas, before the pandemic, Ty would have said the same shit. There would have been, hey, look, you might go out there and somebody, you might get rabies. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that. I would have just said what I always say, which is somebody going to talk in the movie or do something.
See, he's something you know what I'm saying? He's Ty is in a bunker.
He's introverted. It's okay. We understand.
Yeah.
No, it's not that I'm introverted. It's just that I don't have a lot of patience for the bullshit. Like, we gotta listen.
Introverted. That's
introverted. Look. I'm gonna say like this. Look, we got a drive-in movie theater out here like that. Like
you do a drive-in movie theater, my nigga. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
And
that is. It is. I did as a kid.
Those are dope. I've done it too.
Yeah, I did as a kid, and when I moved out here, I found out that they had a drive-in theater, which I thought was really dope. Well, we started going like frequently because, like, first of all, they killed the movie theaters. When I say they killed the movie theaters, you can go to the drive-in movie theaters and see 2 movies for like $6, and they be the new movies. So you can see like 2 movies that night for $6. The only problem is, and as you know, this shouldn't be a problem, but people are stupid. The only problem is that you may go to the drive-in theater, and some idiot or multiple idiots think it's wise to have their lights on. You have a light now glaring off of the screen while you're trying to watch a movie, the whole movie. So I usually am the person to get out the car and go to people's car and be like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, you had a job.
Customer.
Like, no, but I'm just like, why? You know, isn't that common sense though? Like, why do I have to come and explain to you that you shouldn't have your lights on at a drive-in theater? You
do understand common sense is not common anymore, right?
Yeah, well, man. But again, I used to go there. I used to, but I couldn't go anymore because I had to do that every single time. So when I'm home and I'm in my room with my 70-inch, with my 70-inch 4K smart TV with all of the bells and whistles and my surround.
Stun on them.
My surround sound with all my bells and whistles and my pipe and my popcorn and my lady to come in here and do a dance for me if I want. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get that at a movie theater. Like all of those extra little frills. You don't get that at a movie theater now. If they make that movie theater, Vince, I will go see a movie with you. Like, yo, if they got that
burlesque movie theater.
Yes.
Burlesque movie theater for Ty. Put it out there.
Let's do it, man.
Ty's like talking about feelings on the screen. Bring in the women.
As we go
the beat of her legs. Let me see it.
As we go on Shark Tank.
What I've been getting here, Mr. Kobe, we have a movie theater seat with an ashtray, and it comes automatically with a lady to give you singles to throw at the dancers. Like that, I know that's a problem. Them throwing, lights up as I'm lagging here a little bit. At the drive-throughs, but you don't have that issue inside the theaters, man. So
you just got people talking and going off and laughing and all that shit in my movie.
Laughing, nigga! It's a
He's like, yo, everybody shut up. I don't want nobody to enjoy this movie. Y'all sit the fuck down.
Your baby to the movie, your baby's crying. You know what I'm saying? Your baby's in there crying in the movie. You got your kids in there talking the whole movie.
Ty, we're not talking about the movies you watch on the plane. We're talking about the ones that are in the movie theater, bro.
That's all. Everything I'm saying happens in the movie theater. All of that shit happens. You're like so Spider-Man gone on Spider-Man that you just like yo, I'm willing to risk my life. But yo, you're like, are we gonna act
You're
like
not hearing yourself? And we keep talking about this. You talk about risking your life. A baby and people talking and laughing don't got shit to do with me risking my life.
No,
you
would have been saying this in 2015. That's not what I'm talking about, though. You know,
like somebody got an air fryer going on in the back.
I'm talking about the current situation we in right now with this pandemic.
You're using the current situation as an excuse. You wouldn't have gone to see it, even if there was never a pandemic. You would still not have gone to see it in the movie theater.
To the movies. What are you talking about? I was going to the movies. I went to see
the drive-through, and you complain about that.
Nah, I'm not. I mentioned that I've gone to the movies. Like, yo, when the movies was coming out, when all of the fly shit was coming out, I was going to the movies. But what I saw consistently was that people would do stuff like bring they babies to the movie theaters and stuff like that. And like, I'm not trying to watch a movie that I've been really excited to see where I got to listen to a baby crying or you having a conversation with your buddy.
You know, it would be a really good job for you. It would be quality. Like, you know, those quality services that, you know, like give you feedback on like how they're doing, you know, in the business and stuff like that. You'd be great for that. You'd be like, you guys need to kick everybody out, kids. You guys need to do this. Where's the damn dude walking around talking about shh? Like,
yo, you know what they said in Doctor Strange? That guy who was like too many sorcerers. He's like too many humans. There's just too many fucking humans. He's like, I figured out the problem. I figured out what's the problem.
That's it.
So let's do this. All right. Oh, movie theater, home goer, whatever. All right. Drive in, you know, phone watcher. If you're watching it on the bus, whatever, you know, however. Let's just talk about the fact that this movie is going to be completely nuts. At least they're gearing it up to be. I honestly feel like Spider-Man, this Tom Holland version of Spider-Man, has been the only Spider-Man that actually seems to get better with each movie. I mean, am I the only one that believes that? Like,
I agree. He's the best Spider-Man that we've had, other than like Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? I feel like Miles played his character to the T. Like they did, and I'd love to see more of Miles because, you know, it's the multiverse. You know what I'm saying? And I love they did that with Miles' story. You know, they didn't make it the original Spider-Man story. They made it his own. I love that about that. So I feel like we need to touch on that. Finish.
Well, yeah. I was about to say that one of the things that I think makes this Spider-Man so good, in terms of Tom Holland, is the fact that he is in the MCU and started with the MCU. So he's going to completely bring the MCU together as he starts to also develop the Spider-Verse, which we've already seen put into play by the animated movie, which won awards. Okay. And I say we also have one of the few people who's in MCU multiple times. Mahershala Ali is not only Cottonmouth, but he's also the upcoming Blade, and he was the voice of Prowler in the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, he was.
Of course, is Aaron Davis, Miles Morales' uncle, who was also Donald Glover in Homecoming. So there's so many things to unpack right here. I personally hope that Donald Glover can maintain his role as Aaron Davis. I think that would be hella dope. I think that what we're going to see in this upcoming Spider-Man film is not only them tying in these other universes. Like, I'm positive there's going to be a Doctor Strange tie-in because it's the multiverse. I mean, obviously, they have to have, and we remember in Endgame, not Endgame, but Infinity War, it was Spider-Man who was there to help because Hulk couldn't get it up. if you recall, come on, dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the Wizards. You know what I'm saying?
He could have performed.
Yeah, you know, no. What do you mean, no? You know, and then
superhero. He has superhero erectile dysfunction.
Yeah. He needs some milk and some freaking Viagra for his Hulk. You know, but it happens to a lot of men. You know, after a certain age. You know, it's just how it is, I guess. But anyway, so the thing that I'm excited about, Tyrone, is the fact that this movie, I believe. First of all, Tom Holland has already signed on. He didn't signed on, but he's already said he's definitely willing, because this last movie is the last one that fills his contract with the MCU. He said, like, look, I'm game. Unlike the other two Spider-Man, Toby and Andrew, that basically was like, I mean, Spider-Man, you know, it's cool.
Toby was so bad.
Yeah, Toby tried to get away from the Spider-Man thing, but he couldn't because his voice is way too high to play any other role other than Peter Parker. Andrew Garfield had a whole different take on Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying, which I thought was kind of dope. But I just think that the Spider-Man in TASM, as we call it, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1 was cool, but the Peter Parker was too hip for me. I'm more akin to a nerdy, geeky, picked on Peter Parker, not a cool skateboardy. I'm here to pick on the bullies who pick on people, Peter Parker. So I wasn't really feeling that. But this Tom Holland meets it, and I'm hoping that this Tom Holland not only brings us into, this last Spider-Man not only brings us into the Spider-Verse where we're going to see the Venom and Carnage come into this universe, but we also start to see the development of Spider-Man, of Miles Morales, and possibly even a Gwen Stacy of Spider-Gwen.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thinking that this next Spider-Man is going to parallel what we've been seeing from the Avengers worlds, because we know right now they're reconfiguring the Avengers sagas, possibly to include the young Avengers like Wicked and Speed.
Kate
so
Bishop.
I don't know, Tyrone. I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but I think that this next Spider-Man movie is going to basically introduce us to another universe that can parallel the Avengers universe. Man, what you think?
Yeah, I think that's going to be interesting to see, because so far the only crossover between Sony and Marvel Studios is Spider-Man. Even though there's a wealth of characters in that Spider-Man universe that fit into the Avengers. Also, like you mentioned earlier, Fantastic Four has a lot of connections through Spider-Man. So it could be a way for them to bridge everything that we want, like all the stuff we've been waiting for: Fantastic Four, X-Men. Even like the Daredevil and Punisher from Netflix, that kind of stuff. This could be a way to actually bridge all of those gaps. And if that's the case, then man, we're looking at some really great crossovers. It was always one of my favorite things back in the day, watching the Spider-Man animated series. You never know. You'd be watching an episode, all of a sudden the Punisher shows up. Watching an episode, oh, there's Wolverine. You know what I mean? You're watching an episode, here's the Hulk. You know what I mean? Like it was always so fun because of that. And we may actually be getting there. I think as long as they can, Sony and Marvel can keep those good deals going, and as long as you have people like Tom Holland who are going to bat for that connection, then I think we're in for a good future. But I like him. I like him because he cares about what's happening with the entire universe. When Sony was trying to big time Marvel, because they're like, hey, we got Spider-Man, Tom Holland. I want to be a part of this MCU thing. And if y'all want to go a different way, you're gonna have to do it without me. Woo! And he was a big reason why we have the contract why he has a contract that he has. And he knows he has the power to continue that. So I hope that that's the case. I love Tom Holland. I think he is the best Spider-Man. Even though Sean Fowler says Toby by a little, I have to disagree. Toby was a 35-year-old, 16-year-old in that movie. I think he was already a little too old to be pushing people around in high schools and stuff. So and I agree with you, Vince, on Amazing Spider-Man being a little too confident. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was a little too much for me. But yeah, Tom Holland, best Spider-Man. I hope that he has a long future. And I to Yaz's point, I would love to see him, be the person to kind of introduce the MCU to Miles Morales. I think the MCU needs Miles Morales. I can't wait to see him in there.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. The MCU. TJ, first of all, did you watch, are you a Spider-Man movie fan? Did you get a chance to check out?
I have watched the movies. I have watched all the Spider-Man movies, but I'm not.
How you answer this?
No, I have watched the Spider-Man movies. I'm not the biggest. Spider-Man was never the character that I.
Oh man, we've lost TJ. I don't know what happened.
No. Yeah, he didn't even say he didn't like him.
We said something about Spider-Man.
No, I don't know what's going on with your internet, TJ. I don't know what happened. You were saying, TJ.
I was saying that Spider.
Oh man, I don't know what this is. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist, man. I promise I won't do it no more, man. I won't do it no more. I'm serious.
I was saying Spider-Man is the best Spider action hero of all time. That's what I was
saying. There we are. We don't need to double try. See, I knew you'd get it.
See, it's right here. Got
it. Go ahead, man. What were you saying originally, man? I'm sorry.
No, when I saw the trailer or the commercial with the reveal of the new movie of the title, it was weird because I'm not familiar with Zendaya from earlier, in her younger years. So I just got really introduced to Zendaya, not from even Euphoria. I got it from Malcolm and Marie. I didn't know she was that great of an actress, even though I seen the other Spider-Mans. Now it's weird to see her in playing a teenager. I'm like, it's just weird to me. But as far as the movie as a whole, I'm looking forward to it. But it's I'm not as gung ho with like thinking it's going to be the most epic movie of all time. I could be wrong, but I'll see. I won't risk my life to go see it, but I will go see it though.
Oh man, come on, man! What good is a movie without a little COVID? You know what I'm saying? I'll take my popcorn with a little butter, a little COVID. Thank you very much, and a Dr. Pepper.
Some COVID flakes.
Some nacho cheese and COVID, y'all. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that this next Spider-Man is really going to change the game. I think that this Spider-Man, and Tyleen, you tell me how you feel. I think that this Spider.
Did we lose Ben?
Oh God, Vince! Oh my God!
You know what that is? I serve a big God, and you done took me out the street. That's the karma. That's the universe. That's the universe.
But it's
Man, get TJ.
Oh man,
I was just playing. Yo, you're right. But can you please not tell Jesus on me for the rest of the broadcast, man?
That's just how God. That's how when black people do stuff. We always think when somebody do something to you wrong, they'll see that's God. God ain't nowhere else. But
you already know.
God is just there. God is just there to avenge us for something. Yep. See,
God is the ultimate. Vince didn't show the clip earlier of Jesus being like, "Hey, what up, TJ? What up, Soapbox? Fan, love what you do." So yeah, be careful, Vince.
That's funny.
All right, I'm sorry. For you, God, and Agatha, who are messing with my internet, I need y'all to do that. But yeah, man, Tyleen, man, you can't say that. I mean, moviegoer aside, even from the crib, that this movie isn't going to like change the game. Like they can. I mean, the thing that I'm concerned about is whether they can pull all this off in a 90-minute to maybe even a 2-hour movie. I mean, this might be too much. This is what went wrong in the Spider-Man 3 that was directed by Sam Raimi. They tried to do too much in a Spider-Man movie. The movie ended up being 2.5 hours long. We got not only a Venom that I was not pleased with in Topher Grace, but we also were shortchanged on a decent Sandman story, which could have actually been a pretty dope character arc in a villain. They tried to squeeze in a version of Hobgoblin with Norman Osborn's son,
Harry Osborn.
Harry Osborn. And I get the sense that we're seeing something similar to that in this. The only difference being it doesn't all rest on Sam Raimi's shoulders this time, because there's the MCU amidst it to help bring it along, which means it doesn't all have to happen in one movie. Like they can introduce things and then have them continue in either a sequel or even a whole other movie or in a Disney movie. Tyleen, man, what's your thoughts, man?
I know you're a big Spider-Man fan, man.
Hey, be careful what you say.
No one gave me the memo. I didn't get the memo.
But look, man, I'm gonna have to agree with TJ, man. I don't.
Uh-oh. We lost his sound. We've lost Ty's sound. I don't know what's going on here, guys. I don't know what Agatha's doing. We've never lost his sound, Yas. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, but
This has too much power. He's too powerful.
He's over here like this. One of the you can't see him,
we can just go ahead and well, you know what, Yas, why don't we go to you? I'm just playing. Go ahead, Ty. We good, man. I'm just messing with you.
Can we hear him?
Is it still muted?
Nah, he just Yeah, man. I know you're a big Spider-Man fan, man. But unfortunately, to be honest with you, I don't think Spider-Man is going to be the biggest MCU movie to date. I don't think it's gonna. I honestly don't even think it's gonna probably exceed Far From Home. I mean, in Far From Home to me wasn't even really all of that good. But you know, they're gonna say I didn't think it was that. I didn't think it was that good. I just didn't. I mean, that's me. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But I'm not.
I thought it was better than Homecoming.
I thought it was pretty good.
I mean,
I thought it was better than Homecoming.
Well, I didn't like Homecoming either, though.
It's been a pleasure working with you, Ty. I really have enjoyed this time together.
I'm a Tom Holland fan. I love Tom Holland.
Yeah, don't sound like it.
No. There's a difference. I'm a fan of Tom Holland. I'm not necessarily a fan of the Spider-Mans that they've done. I just like him. You know what I'm saying? As an actor, as a personality. You know what I'm saying? I think he's funny. I think he's likable. I think all of those things that you guys said as far as him being the best Spider-Man, I think those are what make him the best Spider-Man to me. It's not so much the movies as it is his likability factor. But
in the movies.
And well, I just mean him, his personality, period. Like I've seen him on a lot of stuff prior to the movies, and then also when he did the Avengers, the Civil War joint, the Civil War joint. You know, his personality, of course, in the movie shine through, but he's got a little quirkiness about him that, you know what I'm saying, just that, like, when you see him doing his interviews and everything like that, he's just a quirky kid. He's a likable dude. You know what I'm saying? So I think that resonates a lot with Spider-Man, fans. Just in that way, in the likability factor. But as far as the movie goes, I do think it'll be good. I just don't think it'll be like what you're saying as far as epic. I don't think it'll even come close to the Infinity War or Black Panther numbers that they did. You know, and I'm sorry to say that, but to be honest with you, we better hope that Robert Downey comes back. I'm just
No,
I'm just going to say it. Yeah, absolutely. Because with Robert, we know not just Iron Man, but in all the Avengers movies, that he pretty much carried that franchise. Like, he literally carried that franchise. Like I was just talking about before the show started, how losing Kobe hit different. Well, losing Tony hit different. Like, that's like, we lost Cap and Tony, but we missed Tony more than we missed Cap. Like, the fact that we heard Cap is coming back, we was like, oh, that's cool. But if we heard Tony was coming back, which there have been talks, there have been
a lot of talks.
Yeah, they have been talks that they're trying to get Tony back. They want Tony back. They've been begging him to come back. And if Tony comes back, just know that whatever movie that is that he comes back in will be, again, the biggest movie in the MCU history. So I don't know, man. I'm not as optimistic about this next Spider-Man movie. I actually think that the Venom movie might be more successful than the Spider-Man movie, to be honest.
What the fuck?
I'm surprised you let that go on for as long as it did. First of all, Vince, like, you exited, TJ out like immediately.
He kicked me out like Martin's apartment. Like, oh, get out of my house. Get out.
He's like, oh, a bug out my windshield. Let me squash it.
Well, I mean, Ty is spitting pure garbage right now. The fact of the matter is, the Iron Man that we know is out after multiple Spider-Man movies. He captivated us, but it was Spider-Man who actually brought us into the Marvel universe that we're in right now. All right. And the teaming up of Spider-Man, just like in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic books, is inevitable. But I do not think that, first of all, it's sacrilege to think and to cast the dispersion that Venom will be more popular than the comic book character that created Venom. That's like Harley Quinn being more popular than Batman. All right, which some would argue has slightly started to become an issue in itself. All right, but I don't think that you're looking at this the right way, though, bro. I think that you're looking at Spider-Man movie as just another Spider-Man movie when it's actually a damn near another Avengers movie. I mean, who are we talking about having in the movie? We got Doctor Strange. We have in the last Spider-Man movie, if you don't recall, you're sitting there talking about Iron Man. Guess who did a cameo in the last Spider-Man movie? Freaking Iron Man. I mean, he was dead. You know, he was dead. You know what I'm saying? So if you're looking to have an Iron Man mashup, you're probably going to have it in Spider-Man. But we already know that Robert Downey Jr., not only is he coming back, but he's already been cast. He's in Black Widow. We know he's going to be back. But it's a flashback, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Because Black Widow is set before the Avengers, before everything, before she loses her accent. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like everybody from that area does when they come to the Marvel Universe, evidently. And which Agatha so poignantly pointed out, that accent really just comes and goes, doesn't it? You know? I love how Marvel likes to like jab at the audience. But I predict that the Spider-Man movie will break records, not Black Panther, not Endgame, but all Spider-Man records. And I also predict that it will successfully introduce new franchises through this Spider-Man universe, which is why we're so looking forward to it, because we may actually get a live action Spider-Verse, including Miles Morales, including Gwen Stacy, and it all hinges on what happens in this next. Now, I don't know. I need to hear from Tyrone, because cheer me up from this bullshit that Ty did here. Please tell me that you feel the same way I do or something like that.
No, I think honestly, I do feel a lot of the same ways you do. The only thing I would disagree with is that it hinges on what happened in this movie. I think they already know what's going to happen 5-10 years from now. You know what I mean? Whether, you know, regardless of what happens with this movie. So I think that there's going to be a plan. I disagree with Ty that this is not going to be some sort of like epic, you know, big kind of game changing movie. I do think it is. I think that they're setting it up to be. And I agree with you, Vince, where we're gonna come. I think we're gonna walk out of Spider-Man, or, you know, get up from our couch after seeing Spider-Man, and we're gonna be like, damn, I can't believe they just did that. You know what I mean? I can't believe we saw X, Y, Z. You know, what we know from Marvel historically is when they give us stuff, when we think they're giving us a bunch, when we think they're dropping spoilers, we think they're dropping major hints, they're only giving us a little piece of what we're actually gonna see. And Spider-Man is gonna blow our expectations out of the water. So you know, Ty, I think you should prepare for some insane whiplash, because your expectations are down here,
right?
Our expectations are up here. We're gonna get blown away. You know, I think that you should, you know, definitely prepare yourself mentally. You know, do whatever kind of mental push-ups, whatever, because I think you're gonna be with us next time when we're talking about Spider-Man 4. You're gonna be like, Vince, you're gonna be like, don't you dare say a bad word about Spider-Man. You're gonna be yelling at Vince like, if you slander Spider-Man one more time, you know, I think it's gonna change the reality as we know it.
And I'm hopeful.
Ty's sitting there waiting for the goddamn Mephisto movie. And
I'm right there. Am I the only one that doesn't want Robert? Am I the only one that doesn't want them to bring Iron Man back, or Chris? I didn't want Chris Evans to come back. Like, once you kill off some of these characters, I just think that if you bring back Iron Man, it kind of taints Endgame. Like, it kind of kills that. So I don't. You gotta stop reaching back, and you gotta try to build new stars and cultivate new stars. I think Chadwick Boseman passing away and the whole Black Panther saga, I think that's been a real big blow to Marvel, which I still think they should recast Black Panther anyway. Yeah, absolutely. So the fact that what's it called? The what's it saying? The Marvel. What was I saying? I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of it.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. The Spider-Man movie. So yeah, I don't know. I forgot. I kind of lost my train of thought. I saw the video. I started watching the video. And lost the train of thought. But yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, they shouldn't. No, they shouldn't bring him. Definitely shouldn't bring him back. Keep the timelines how they are, and you know, just keep it moving.
But that's the thing. The timelines. We don't have any timelines at this point.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. And the reason
Thank you. Yes, we do.
Listen. Can y'all both just calm down? WandaVision is literally destroying the timeline as we speak. because she's changing reality and manipulating reality. So if she's manipulating reality and Doctor Strange's multiverse of madness is the next to come, we are dealing with no timelines. We are going from universe to universe. And literally, so basically what I'm saying is you could take Chris Evans into another multiverse and see another Chris Evans. You could go into another multiverse and find another Wanda. It may not be the Scarlet Witch. She may have never became a witch. This is where we're going with the Kevin Feige saga. This is how we manipulate the universes and allow the transfer of power over to each universe is by going to these multiverses. So the idea that we're in a timeline would suggest that we're only in one universe, which then we would be in a timeline, but we're not. We're in a multiverse, which is more of a multi-dimensional type deal. So the times are going to be different. The timelines are going to be different in each dimension. So that's why I'm saying when you're looking at what's happening right now, and I'm not talking about what happened in Endgame and all of that. All of that could change drastically to when you go to a different multiverse where Tony Stark exists and never died. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but
we might have already seen it. You might have already seen it in WandaVision. Sorry, man.
But in the art of I'm sorry. In the art of storytelling, like how would anybody believe anybody who dies in a movie is actually dead in real life? People would just they would be desensitized to it. They're like, oh, we're bringing Vision back. Oh, so we could just why don't we just bring Black Widow back? Let's bring back Thor's mom. Like, well, they did bring back Thor's mom, sort of. So it wouldn't really hit home.
Well, TJ, the whole next name of the movie of Doctor Strange is the Multiverse of Madness. It's not supposed to make sense, bro. Like, that's why it's madness. You know what I'm saying? Like, to us, realistically speaking, to us, when you die, you die. But in a multiverse of madness, you may have not died yet.
Well, and then with Wanda fabricating things to how she wants.
And that too. Rewriting her.
What you're saying.
The fact that chaos magic is we didn't really go into chaos magic. But like, there's a whole story behind that in the comic book of how she got that chaos magic. Chiffon is the what was he, a god or a demon?
The god of chaos.
The god of chaos. Chiffon is how she actually got the chaos magic. So and like he is like this. We're talking about a being that was so powerful that a touch, just him touching Wanda, gave her enough power to have the type of power that she has right now, which is a piece of Chiffon's power. You know what I'm saying? Just a piece, just a minuscule amount of power that he possesses. So that's why I said, when you're looking at it from the perspective of we're no longer in a time of reason, a time of understanding, a time of stability. We're literally, one moment you're in this reality, the next minute you're in this universe, the next minute you're in this universe. So we can see multiple versions of Tony, multiple versions of Cap, multiple versions of Wanda, and so on and so forth. You get the point.
Yeah, and also, my bad. I was gonna say, in comic books, I mean, we know, we're growing up with it. It's one of the constant things in comics. A character dies, character comes back. Character dies, character comes back. It has happened over and over again, even outside of the MCU. It happened with Superman. It happened with, it's happened with everybody. So, they could be establishing that, hey, this is like, we're not operating on this kind of like reality anymore, this limited reality. We're doing comic book stuff now. So it could be that. Also, I do have a theory that we may have already seen Tony Stark in WandaVision. Whoa. And maybe a multiverse version of Tony Stark in the form of Tony Stork.
I can't with you. That was a good one.
That wasn't a good one. Don't congratulate me for that. That was terrible. But
he had me too. At first, I was like, "Oh, what?"
I had to mess with y'all a little bit. Yeah. Also, but if Tony Stork ever does become a thing, copyright that, right? Because I need to be taking people's
immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately. You heard it here first.
First one. Yeah.
Tony Stork.
Tony Stork. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put that into. We're gonna go ahead and make that work right now. I need everybody to go to Twitter and start using hashtag Tony Stork.
Hashtag Tony Stork.
Let's go ahead and make this a thing. You heard it here first. Hallelujah. Well, I want to say this real quick about Ty's whole rant about there not being a timeline.
He was calm during this one, though.
All right. Well, here's the thing. All right. First of all, you're right, but it's a little bit of a stretch. Yes, with Doctor Strange being able to access whatever universe he wants to, we can go to any timeline or universe, but we're currently set in one, and that in the timeline that we're currently in, Thanos is dead. Mm-hmm. All right, Vision is dead. Mm-hmm. The snap happened. Mm-hmm. Wanda came back. She lost her mom. Captain Marvel's MIA. The Fantastic Four, which I still think that there may be a Mr. Reed Richards, because we still don't know who the engineer is.
Right.
I heard it's the Blue Marvel.
Oh my god! Yo, if they bring Blue Marvel into this, it's first of all, it's way too late. If they introduce a character as dope as Blue Marvel at the very last, but that would be dope. We have seen no indication that would be the case in the show itself, but that would be dope as hell. Another black superhero would completely obliterate my mind and my brain cells. But for right now, what I'm trying to establish is that there is an existing timeline that we're in. Whether we go from one to another is a different story. But in the WandaVision universe, as well as in the Spider-Man universe, they're both living in the same timeline after the snap, after everybody came back. And that's where we start. So can we end up somewhere else? Sure. Is that where we are now? No. So the whole notion that we're not in a timeline is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It has merit in that it can always be altered.
Right.
But it is not the case that we're just frivolously skipping through the universe right now.
Right.
Like in the actual Doctor Strange movie, where it was hard to really figure out where the hell we really were. You know what I'm saying? So I just got to, get that out. If my internet will let me say it all at once, good Lord. Damn.
I just love that while you're talking about timelines and stuff, that's what we're seeing. And it's blowing my mind, man. Like we might all just be in WandaVision right now. Who even knows what's happening? Like what is reality anymore?
Yeah. Well, the fact of the matter is the Spider-Man movie, whether Ty believes it or not, is going to break records. It's going to do hella numbers, and it's going to represent a pseudo return to normalcy for the greater half of the public that considers themselves laymen, to use Ty's words. All right. But what we do know is that, just like you said, Tyrone, in these comic books, we have, and TJ touched on this as well, we've come kind of numb to the notion of people dying in a comic because they can always be revived, right? Like, who really dies? If you read the comic, Spider-Man dies, all right? There's at one point in time, Spider-Man, we learned he wasn't even who we thought he was. If you read the Ben Reilly comics and you're aware of like the Scarlet Spider and how he thought he was a clone and that the original Peter Parker wasn't even actually Spider-Man, like there is always a way to kind of twist around it.
Yeah.
And they kill spoiler alert, they kill Captain America like literally. And Miles Morales in the Civil War too is the one who stands over, takes the adamantium, the vibranium shield and wields it, just like you kind of see in Civil War 2. So yeah, you can always revive and all of that stuff, but at the end of the day, right now we are set in a certain universe where these folks all exist. I do think that, however, Marvel should teach DC how to wield that appropriately, because once again, we're freaking being sold another goddamn justice. Like, why is DC so bad at theatrical releases? Like, I just want to take them and hold them and be like, it's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay. We see you. Just keep the CW show. You shouldn't have never let the Arrow go. Let's just stick with one Flash at a time. Like, why are there multiple Supermen on screen at once? DC cannot get it together. Like, it's almost like there's multiple people, multiple entities running the whole DC universe, and they all do whatever the fuck they want. They're like, oh, you got a Superman? Oh, we got one too. When's yours released? You know what I'm saying? Like, and Ty's sitting here bigging it all up like, oh, did y'all see the Superman and Lois? Like, no. I Now, if I'm gonna watch something at home, that's probably gonna be it. I refuse to watch any more versions of Superman. And now they're in the talk of actually telling us that there's going to be another Batman, another Superman.
The Superman is going to be a black Superman this time, though.
Well, that is fascinating. And that I'd watch.
That's the twist to the new Superman. It's going to be a black Superman. The MCU confirmed it. I'll be posting I saw it like last night, so I'll be posting a link and showing you guys.
It's not Michael B. Jordan, is it?
They didn't confirm who exactly it was going to be yet. They just confirmed that they are making another Superman, and it will be a black Superman this time.
But it's not Shaquille O'Neal, though, right?
No, it's not.
Okay.
If it is, all I have to say is please have like one clip of him falling.
Oh
because
yeah,
I love that shit. Like the straight arms and legs. Like who can do that? You know, like
hey, that was a Steel reference for anybody who didn't get that.
Yo, on the new Lois and Clark DC TV series, they have Lex Luthor as a black guy. They played Lex Luthor as a black dude.
Oh wow! So we're just turning. Okay, hey, Tyler Perry presents Superman.
Medea in the multiverse. Listen,
go ahead, TJ.
No, I was just gonna say if like Marvel is Russell Wilson and DC is definitely Future. Like Marvel is treating us right, making sure being attentive, giving us details. DC just out here like, yo, you know what this is, you know the story, let's just get to it. This is nothing long term. Just that's what it is. So. Marvel is DC don't care about their timelines like that or their origin story.
We're in a long-term committed relationship with Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
That literally looks like the same movie.
We ain't going to give you the whole story. We're just going to give you some of it.
Yeah. I think that's a good analogy. And DC is always going to be there, like outside the window, beckoning for us to open up with the radio over their head. Meanwhile, we're in here FaceTime and Marvel. Like, I don't know why this fool keeps showing up. But he's outside right now, and But here's where DC is getting. See, this is the problem I have. And Ty, you being the big DC guy, you can probably tap into this, man. Bad Ty. We're talking about bad Ty, New Jersey Ty. So I think that the one thing that that DC does right, that they have done right over the last few years, is start to finally realize that they do not have to rely on the magnificent DC universe that everybody thinks is necessary. Like what Marvel has done with their characters, such as introducing us to Monica Rambeau, introducing us to Quicksilver, introducing us to a version of Wanda and even Vision that we weren't familiar with, now giving us a movie about a comic book character with no powers. I think that what DC needs to realize is that you don't always have to rely on your main characters. If you look back at some of the most recent DC movies that were actually successful and noteworthy, in my opinion, I think one of the dopest DC movies to come out in recent days is, frankly, Shazam. Shazam was one of the dopest DC movies that came out in recent history. And it's because we don't have any expectations for Shazam. Even though, if you're a comic book follower, you're like, okay, we know Shazam was Captain Marvel in the DC universe, and then Captain Marvel ends up being, Shazam, and then we develop like Adam, and Shazam actually is the one who killed or beat up Superman in the comics. You know what I'm saying? We kind of are familiar with it, but for them to make that comic book movie and make it actually make some sense, I think is one of their crown achievements that they're not really getting a lot of play for. And I see Tyrone agreeing in Tyrone fashion, which gives me hope. It gives me hope because we all know that what's coming up next is the Black Adam movie with Mr. Dwayne Johnson, which is a spinoff of the Shazam movies. So if DC follows this model and starts introducing, because I even heard about Blue Beetle is supposed to be coming out later on this year. And Blue Beetle is a Latin American. It's going to be directed by a Latin American. And I think that DC is finally starting to get the message. Like, look, bro, you don't always have to have some glorified white man with a lot of money or with a nice career or that's all powerful to lead your movies. You can have a Black Adam. You can have a Cyborg. You can have, a Blue Beetle. And you can be just as successful, if not more. Because frankly, let's just be real. We already went through all of these different Supermans. That's not even counting the one that came before Henry Cavill that nobody likes to talk about. Like, that's like the one that we won't name. Remember when Superman Returns? Remember? Yeah. He got fired after his first movie.
His whole rest of his career has been comedy. He's done comedy the rest of his career.
I like the Dylan and the movie, and I like him as old boy in the DC shows.
Adam.
What's the show that he
Adam. Adam. Legends
of DC stupidity.
The Legends. What is it? DC. What is it? What is it?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, DC.
That's what it is.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think that if they follow this model, I think that they'll have some success. Now, Ty, I get the feel that Tyleem, I think you disagree with me on that.
I think we should just stick a fork in DC, man. As far as I've been a DC fan for a very long time, and they just can't get it right, man. I mean, this whole Superman thing, I'm so over that, man. I'm so over as many times as you rebooted Superman, I just can't ride with DC no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just at some point you got to call it quits, man. And this is it, man. The relationship's over.
Oh, man. Damn. Tyrone, how you feel?
I think there's a lot of validity to what he's saying. I think DC hasn't found an identity for themselves yet. Like, there doesn't seem to be a plan. They just kind of seem to be winging it, and that's disappointing for a lot of us, because a lot of us, we're not like either Marvel or DC. A lot of us love it all and want to see everybody doing good. You know what I mean? I want to see a great Superman movie. I want to see a great Justice League movie. I want to see more. I want to see them really get into Super Friends territory. And to your point, Vince, when they did Shazam, like it was them kind of finally leaning into the ridiculous part of it, the absurd part of it. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have some fun with this. We're gonna lean into it. We're gonna open up, kind of this weird world. And they did a pretty decent job. I mean, it was a fun DC movie. You know what I mean? I saw it in theaters. I enjoyed it. I came away like, okay, if they stay going down this road, then we might have something. We might end up getting something that we can enjoy on a different level. But every time we get something like that, then we start hearing about a 4-hour Zack Snyder Justice League movie that's, yellow and black and white, and and it's got a apocalyptic Batman, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, what are we here for? Why?
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm with Ty on that one. It's like, it's disappointing. Like, we just want it to be good.
TJ, do you watch anything DC at all? Are you a DC fan?
Not really. When the Batman movies come out, I watch it. I did watch Justice League. It was kind of like I said, it was like everything was just kind of thrown together. I was like, wait, the Flash, then Cyborg, then it just all just came together at once. I was like, oh, I thought I missed a couple movies, because you get so Marvel trained where you're like, oh, I gotta go look at it. But I did enjoy the first Wonder Woman. I didn't watch the second one because the reviews for the second one, everybody said it wasn't that great. So I will watch. I mean, I gotta find time, and maybe I'll watch them in parts. The director's cut on HBO Max of Justice League, but other than that, I have to agree. Like, DC needs a game plan. It's almost like they're trying to do some other stuff, but then they're always over peeking at Marvel's homework, seeing what they're doing, and then they're still not getting it. They're still not getting it right. So it's hard to take it seriously or to follow. But I'm also interested in the new Batman that's coming out with was it Robert Pattinson? So we'll see, because that looks a little darker. I actually like the way it looks and the different spin on the Riddler. So I appreciate that.
I think what DC's lacking so bad is a good villain. We haven't had one since The Dark Knight. We haven't had like a strong DC villain.
They literally just released a movie about a villain, and that's one of the things that Marvel hasn't done. Like they released Joker, you know, and it won awards. So
I mean, that was a good movie.
That is, I don't look at that as the same universe. Like I look at that as a separate adaptation.
Drama.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was excellent drama about about a guy getting kicked around by society and all that other stuff, and that's great and stuff. But like, we don't even know where that fit. It doesn't fit anywhere in the DC universe that we know, or any of the characters, because he was over there. He's in his 40s, talking to a 10-year-old Batman. Like, what is Batman going to grow up and just beat the hell out of an 80-year-old? Is that what we're supposed to believe from that Joker?
I thought that was another, like, he's right. In that movie, I was like, this doesn't really make much sense because of the age difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're completely right. And honestly, I didn't even see Shazam because of how horrible the other movies have been. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to watch them to fall asleep. I didn't even see Shazam yet, because like you said, they're doing a very bad job of trying to mimic Marvel, and it's not going very well for them. They need a new game plan, and they need to enact on it like right away.
Yeah, they need some leadership.
Isn't the theory in Joker is that Joker made up that entire movie, and that's what the big joke was, because Joker's origin story, you just never know what it is. So the actual movie Joker, when is not, that's why it's so messed up, and it doesn't really make sense, because he's in that psych ward and he's making it all up.
Ooh. Well, I mean, the Joker movie, that's a good analysis, TJ. I don't know if that's widespread or not. But the Joker movie was based on a comic book called The Killing Joke, in which they depicted the story of Arthur as opposed to the traditional Jack Napier. And it actually follows along with the comic. So in that comic, he wasn't in like a fantasy universe, but I like that thought. I do think that they're going to elaborate on the Joker that we just had brought into the fold with I had
Suicide Squad.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin. I confuse him with the dude that used to play for the Bulls. What was his name?
Joakim Noah.
Yeah. They sound completely different. So but let me give me just a moment to just do this real quick. Here's where DC succeeds and fails at the same time. Okay, DC, if you take the Christopher Nolan trilogy of The Dark Knight, destroyed one of the best trilogies for Batman since Michael Keaton's version. All right, I mean, which wasn't a trilogy, frankly. I mean, I just give the first two movies directed by Tim Burton with Michael Keaton as like the best in the 80s comic book movies that we had seen at that moment. But to bring it back up to speed, DC, especially when they introduced my man Heath Ledger as the freaking Joker, you cannot get any better than this villain right here, who once again in Gotham has no superpowers, all right, who's just a mastermind, before it was popular, got all of his minions to storm the Capitol. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
And is doing it for what reason? Just he says he burns his own money and says, I'm here because Gotham needs a real villain. They need a villain worthy of the streets of Gotham. I mean, this is where DC gets it right, giving Christopher Nolan the keys to the car and letting him lead it. Unfortunately, they're unable to get it to all merge together, because now instead of us loving the DC version, the Dark Knight version of Heath Ledger, they're already saying, well, look, fuck that Heath Ledger. Let's go ahead and give you another Joker. And we're like, well, shit. What the fuck is it Heath Ledger? Is it Joe? Is it Joaquin Phoenix? Who is it that we really have to look forward to as our Joker? And they're already starting to give us a peek that this is going to be the Joker that we have to look forward to. Now, I'm actually happy that they're going dark with Joker. I wasn't a big fan of the Suicide Squad gangster.
I was just about to say, because you surely clowned him before when I said I liked him. I told you I liked him then. He was like, no, I didn't.
I didn't like that Joker at all.
Yeah, man. The suicide. This Joker right here, I'm not feeling. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. And it wasn't even his fault. It's just that he was written into a movie that was written for a movie that had nothing to do with the other movies, and that's what ends up happening. But I'm digging this new because I think that what they're doing with this guy is they're tying in the Joker that we lost, that we love, Mr. Heath Ledger, with the Joker from the Suicide Squad. And we both know that Zack Snyder is directing Suicide Squad. Excuse me, it's directing the Justice League, but it's our boy that got kicked off of Guardians of Galaxy, James Gunn, who's directing the upcoming Suicide Squad movie. But here again lies the problem with DC. Unlike Marvel, who's able to tie them all together, we now have two different Jokers at the same time. Just like they're about to release a Flash movie. We've got two different Flashes at the same damn time. It's almost like they just don't give a fuck, bro. They're like, yo, look, we're just going to give you whatever the fuck we want. Go ahead, Jazz.
Sorry, Vince. You know what's funny about the Flash? I don't even like the new Flash. I like Barry Allen.
Ooh.
Like from the what you call it? Like I like him more in the series than I do in the movie. Like I feel like that's more Barry Allen than I do. Like I didn't like the new Barry Allen, to be honest with you. I didn't like how cheesy he was. I didn't like how just like completely nerdy and just ridiculous he was. Like I didn't like how they just made him out to be like the Flash is a badass. Like he's not some like little I'm
comic relief.
Yeah, like they literally made him a comic relief. Like you're right, and it's sad. Like I feel like they didn't do him justice. They should have left Barry Allen the way he is.
Well, in the comic book version of Barry Allen is just that. He's a comic. He's funny. He's like always making jokes. He's like that. So like in those regards, DC kind of stayed on the the same path as far as what Flash it represents in the comic book, because he might be badass, but he is definitely and always has been in the comic books a jokester. He's always been making jokes and always doing shit to get on Batman's nerves, and what I'm saying, because Batman is always so dark and so like always to the point type stuff. So my biggest problem with DC and just to reiterate why I don't mess with them is because I feel like Marvel cheated off of DC's homework paper, but scored a higher grade because they knew how to. It's weird. It's weird. It's because it's like DC has all of the potential to be successful, but Marvel just seems to know how to put it together and make it work, and DC just never figured it out. So they have all the answers. It's just that on their paper, for some reason, they have a little bit of dyslexia, so they're like putting up the answers in the wrong place. But Marvel's like looking at the question like, oh yeah, he meant this for that, and you know what I'm saying. So it's literally like that, man. Like because I see so many different DC animated movies that they do, and their animated stuff is bar none like better than Marvel, like bar none, like easily. DC's animated series and stuff are awesome. I mean, straight up awesome. Why can't they translate that to the big screen? Get the same writers if you got to. Like, what the hell? Like,
well, for me personally, guys, I think that this may not seem like it, but I think that the key is all along in Stan Lee. Stan Lee is the missing ingredient. It's that mindset from DC to Marvel, Ty, that I think makes it so that they get it, because Stan Lee did not make a bunch of unfathomable, unbelievable, non-relatable characters. He based his characters, at least allegedly, and based on some of the testimony he said as well, on real life occurrences. If you look back, then there have been sayings that there have been reports that the X-Men comic was based on the civil rights movement, right? I mean, 100%. even though it wasn't, you would have thought that maybe he could have just made him black. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but
no, why would you do that?
Exactly. But in his defense, I mean, he did create Black Panther. Black Panther isn't new. Black Panther first appeared in 1962 for the first time. amidst before the Black Panthers, quote unquote, even found, so it's a weird combination of like living off and Peter Parker is not an all-powerful being from another planet that could shoot lasers through his eyes but can't get a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a young dude in Queens, who's picked on because of his intellect. And that's something that kids can relate to. And I think that that's one of the things that makes it so that Marvel succeeds, because they're still trying to eat off of DC. So yes, Marvel took the notion of creating characters from DC, but what they did was said, no, we're going to create credible characters that can be relatable. And Marvel is not afraid of diversity. I want to just point this out to you. Let's once again look at the stars of DC. All right, the stars of DC are who? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and then look who's way in the background. Cyborg. Like, did they really give a fuck? And Cyborg is the only one out of everybody on this freaking panel, if you don't count Doom Patrol, that doesn't have his own show, doesn't have his own series, doesn't, they're switching back and forth between different cyborgs. Like, and we also can sit here and say that they probably didn't even want to have to put Cyborg on there. They felt compelled to have to because of affirmative action and shit like that. Meanwhile, you go over to Marvel, and one of their first blockbuster movies, but in 1990s, was Blade. They're not afraid to come out, and I know it was vampire centric and Twilight and all of that stuff was coming out, but they still didn't have to do that. Blade, and they come out before it's even popular. The Miles Morales saga has been out since it's been over a decade now. They're not waiting for everybody to force equality on them, and so I think that that's one of the things that leads them, that makes them lead the comic book universe, is that they're not afraid to actually interject real live events, to interject diversity, make it something that is not forced, but is organic. And that drives them going forward. DC is, I feel like they are stuck in the old white man model. You know what I'm saying? Superman, Batman, rich men, you know what I'm saying? Even if freaking, they could have made Aquaman Puerto Rican if they really wanted to. But that's what they do, man. And unfortunately,
could that be why they're thinking of making Black Superman, because they see the success of movies like Black Panther? They're like, we may not like black characters, but we like that black dollar, so let's start catering to that money. We want that money too.
In that article I'll post later in the group that I found last night before I went to bed, it touches on that a little bit about like DC, and they're like realizing that, like there's a big culture out there that they're completely missing, and it's because of their lack of, the joining with the times. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they're all on that rich white man status. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what that article kind of touches base a little bit on that fact too, just like them branching out into, different races of being different heroes and stuff like that, and how that's like we're gonna start seeing like more of that transition coming to DC. So
I think that's why y'all platform is so great, because y'all are breaking down those stereotypes and those barriers. Like, you're creating a whole new space for that market. So kudos to y'all.
Oh man, big up, man! Thank you, TJ. Man, thank you, TJ. I guess I won't kick you out of the room no more. That was an accident.
You're not in timeout no more, TJ.
No, okay. A little rookie hazing.
Yeah, just initiation. That's all that is. But I think that they're starting to wake up. Yes, I think that's a good point. I think that's why we see them trying to tap into The Rock's cultural ambiguity. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? Like they're definitely like, and that was like really funny that you guys said that too, because I noticed that too. I was like, out of all the actors they could have chosen for Black Adam, they chose The Rock. And then like right after that, that's when they started coming out with, oh, well, we're going to do a Black Superman too, to get you guys ready and pumped up and geared to start getting in love with our movies again. So I was like, okay, I see you, DC. Yeah. I'll entertain this thought for a minute or two just to see where it goes,
This is why I'm hoping. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, this just goes to show how stupid DC is, because DC. No. I just mean in the fact that they're out looking for new talent as though they don't have a bevy of it.
Exactly.
Like Vince put me on to a series that I think was like, I mean, marvelous. Like there's no way if you're a DC exec, you don't pick this up when the opportunity comes, and that's Watchmen. If you haven't seen Watchmen,
I haven't. Okay.
My
man,
yo,
Watchmen is
I
amazing.
love that movie. So many people hate on that shit too.
Listen, I don't like I know that there was some discussion about the writer saying that they weren't gonna, they didn't want to write, they weren't gonna write any more scripts for the show and everything like that. But if I'm DC, I go pick that up.
Hell yeah.
I go pick that up.
That was a good ass movie in the box office. You're right.
Huh?
That was a good ass movie. Like box office wise for them, that was a good movie. Like a lot of people had a lot of hate for it, but that was a really good movie for them. Like, back in the day, and not a lot of people like if I ask someone, have they seen that movie? They're like, Watchmen, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, what do you mean?
Ty's talking about the HBO series.
I'm talking about HBO. The movie was honestly, Yas, was all right. It was all right. It was
if
like
you like big blue dicks. Watchmen is your movie. I'm sorry. I didn't mean I was. Oh, you know what? I put myself on blast.
Yeah, man.
He was a big guy. Oh my God! Can we rewind?
We're talking about big blue dicks and vibranium vibrators on the show.
By the way, my mom was having her morning coffee when we were mentioning the vibranium dick, and she spit it out all over her house. So she
spit out what?
She was like, I spit it all over my house. She was like, damn, that caught me off guard.
Oh my God.
Yo, all right. Well, listen. Yo, Yas, what Ty's referring to, and I hope if you haven't, it's homework for everybody on here.
Yeah.
The Watchmen series on HBO.
Where's it on?
HBO.
On HBO.
Yeah.
Regina King is the star. Okay. Regina King is the star of the show. God. And I'm gonna spoil something.
I haven't seen it.
Hey, don't spoil nothing, Vinny, because you didn't do it for me.
No,
I'm telling you, I'm glad.
Alert! I'm gonna do it right now.
Take off the headphones.
I'm gonna spoil it for Yas, just only because. All right, fine. Well, let me just say this.
We're good.
Let me say this without spoiling.
Okay.
Somewhere in this series is the dopest depiction of one of the most tragic incidents that happened in American history to a black town. I'll just leave it there. Watch it. It is and me and Ty, when we talked about this at first, it almost angered me that it took a comic book movie to put this out there in such masterpiece form to where you feel it. You're like, holy shit. Like I've been preaching about this particular incident, and TJ, oh my God.
I already knew exactly what you were talking about as soon as you said it, the most tragic, and I was like, all right, I know.
I know what you're talking about too, because I know history. I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's cool that it touches base on that, because a lot of people are asleep as fuck on that situation. So that's awesome.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, well, if y'all know what I'm talking about, then can I talk about it?
I just don't want you to tell me what the show Hey, you know what? It's your show. Do what you got to do. I'll still watch it anyway.
I don't do the spoilers like that, but I'll say this. TJ, we need to have you back. We're gonna wrap up here in a little bit, but we need to have you back to discuss that specifically, if anything.
Okay.
Guys, jump on it. If you don't have an HBO Max, log in. Let me know. You can steal mine for a little bit.
It's on HBO Max.
It's on HBO Max.
It's on HBO.
Okay.
So HBO.
I need
Max.
to DMs because I ain't got that, and I don't know.
I got you. We'll hook it up. You and Austin can watch that on me. No big deal. And what I want you to take note is, just like Ty says, this is where DC gets it right and wrong. We're like, oh shit, this fucking show is dope as fuck. Get to the end, we're not gonna have a season 2. Like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how do you not have a season 2 of the dopest series that you came out with? You know what I mean? And it doesn't, and even Dr. Manhattan. Oh my God, you got potential. So this is where they fuck up. This is where they fuck up. And I don't think they're going to get better, unfortunately. We got a new Batman, a new Superman, new Batman, new Superman, new Batman, old Black Adam, new Batman, new Batman, Superman. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, bro. Get on with it. You know, like even Flash, people are like, why don't you just put Barry Allen on the big screen? Why freaking make us have to have a multiverse in the freaking Legends of the Fall with Supergirl and all that so they can meet each other so you can be like, oh, okay. Come on, man. Give me a break. Tyrone, do you watch the CW shows?
I watched Arrow and I watched The Flash. I enjoyed them. I thought they did a good job with those. Yes. And then, of course, like you said, when the first time you learn that these characters aren't going to be, shown in other DC properties, even though there's a Justice League coming, but you have these two very prominent Justice League characters who you have just, invested a couple seasons in getting to know and getting to love, and you see their stories, and then you're like, oh no, it's just going to be this other guy who's just kind of a smart ass, and you're like, oh man, come on, I just was loving this other dude, I watched him for 3 years and y'all aren't going to give me. So yeah, I'm with you on that, because they set up all these great situations where they could really bring together some great stories and some great characters, and then they just don't. Like, who makes that decision to just be like, nah, we're not going to use all that work we put in. Let's just start over from scratch every time. Yeah, man. And stop giving us origin stories. All right. We know how Superman came here from her. If anything, I was a little, they tried, right, Ty? They tried to give us Krypton, right? They tried with Supergirl. They tried, bro. Like, it's like they get it, they're not getting it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's there, but it's not there. You know what I mean? And you just want it to be there all the way. And no matter how much dark CGI you give us, it's still not going to be up to par if you can't get everybody in your universes to be in sync. That's just the way I feel about it. But they have potential to do so, man. And I hope that they start to focus on some of these characters. Like, we don't hear too much about Black Lightning. Right. Black Lightning was actually, after the first season, it got dope. Actually, toward the end of the first season, it started getting really dope. If you don't watch Black Lightning, I recommend it. It's a slow build, and the guy that plays Black Lightning, probably ain't gonna win no acting awards. If you
that's the disclaimer.
We remember him as Khadijah in Living Single's boyfriend. I don't know if you remember.
Him. Okay.
And he does the best he can for the role he's given. But man, he gets better. Second season, he gets better.
You're really convincing.
Yeah, he gets better. It's worth the watch, though. If you can stick through it, the Black Lightning show itself is worth the watch. You got to give them credit for that. But in terms of them like just missing the beat, I agree with Tyrone and Talim, and that the DC animated series is, even including Teen Titans Go, like they are on point. But when it comes to like merging everything, they need like a complete reset, reboot. They need like an Avengers type movie to just.
I feel like they need a super fan to go in, and like that's a writer to go in and help them bring this shit together. So it'll make sense for us, get us back to be more intrigued, get us back on track. You know what I'm saying? All these questions that we have about all these fucking people they keep putting in and taking out and like, whatever. And I'm sure the super fan will be like, I'm done with Batman. I am done with Superman, The Flash. We tried. You know what I'm saying? Like Wonder Woman, we might want to redo that. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot. Like I think they definitely need to take some serious notes and get a super fan in there, and that they need to turn this shit around for the better, because they're definitely gonna Marvel's gonna end up buying their asses. No lie.
And you know what? It's funny you said that, because I was just about to say the only thing that is gonna save DC is to take that mentality that if you can't beat them, just join them.
Yeah,
and that's what that's probably what they should do, is just join the MCU. Allow those writers. I'm dead ass serious. Like allow the writers, allow the directors, allow all of those people that are making the MCU so successful to come work on your shit. Like it's that simple.
Ask for help, bro. We're in this together.
Just join the Marvel Hex. That's it. Just expand the shit. Let's expand.
What's more maddening than bringing DC to the MCU? That's more matter than that.
Else, the only thing they don't have rights to is fucking Sony, so it just makes no sense. Like, just give up, bro. Just either let Sony take over or just let Disney buy you. Stop being a bitch.
This is a great Saturday morning PSA for the kids. Let's look at if you can't fucking do it, just give up. Just give up. Fuck your dreams and your feelings and just give up. It's okay. Give in.
point though, every adult has to realize when a dead end is a dead end. When it's not, you're not getting anything. You're not getting anything, and unfortunately, kids have to grow up and learn that shit too. And you know what? It sucks, but there's always other things that you can outreach with that. You don't have to diet. You don't have. It doesn't have to be gasoline and burn that shit and it's over. No, you can regroup and you can transform that into something else. Evolving is what our species is about. You ain't evolving, dog. You're staying the same, and that shit ain't cool. That's the problem.
Yeah,
so
she has been.
I would just like to talk. I would just like to talk to the guys that are sliding in DMs. Don't you give up. You keep shooting your shot. It is not a dead. It is not a dead end. You never know what can happen. You just keep shooting. No conscience. You just keep shooting.
Be a DC. Just keep sending. Just keep saying, hey. Keep sending IWD.
Arrow, what'd you say?
I said, be a DC, fellas. Just keep sending that WID and keep sending that hey, no matter what.
Hey, Queen. Hey, Queen. Yes. Good morning.
Don't dive any deeper. Just keep throwing out the hits.
Good morning.
And then one day it'll work.
Good morning.
That's it. That's it. Just keep shooting it.
Yeah.
Yo, first of all, what a fucked up message, y'all like that. Give up. You know what I'm saying? I want to speak to my little cuz Sean. I just want to say, bruh, you may have had dreams of being an engineer or some sort of aerospace director, but there's nothing wrong with being a busboy. And just
there's nothing wrong with it,
Just be the best one.
Some things you were destined to do, some things you were not. We got trying to find out, don't we? Right?
Yo, all right. By the way, that was not I love bus boys. Oh my god. This has been the most homoerotic show.
We have class consciousness.
We are in the multiverse of madness. This is not the real Vince Taylor. This is a version. He comes from another planet where all of this shit is acceptable.
This is the
even Heath is clapping at me right now. All right, man. Well, listen, there's a couple other topics, but we're running low on time, man. We're running up on 3 hours on our 90-minute show. A couple things that I did want to talk about that we'll discuss next week. I'm just gonna drop these real quick spoilers for next week. We may or may not discuss the release, and I think Patrice is going to be with us next week to possibly discuss whether or not we do or don't like this whole notion of having a Cruella de Vil story. Now I know that that's not necessarily Marvel and all that, but we do know that that is embodying our dear sweet Gwen Stacy, who we did see fall from grace last week, which ties into Marvel as well. Don't say nothing, Yaz. I know you got opinions on that. I know. Look at Yaz. Yeah, you look at she want to say something so bad.
Holding it back. It's okay. I can wait. I'm patient.
Okay,
unlike Tyleem, I'm patient. I can wait.
Exactly, man. So, real quick, man. I think it's about time for us to go ahead and start wrapping up. But I wanted to just say, if we could all big up the homie TJ, man, for coming and joining us, bro. It's a big deal, man.
Honor.
Yeah.
We see you.
We love you.
I feel heard. I feel seen.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
So, what's going on, man?
No, I just wanted I wanted to tell y'all it was an honor. Hopefully, I did y'all show some justice. This was a lot of fun for me. Definitely a change of pace from some of the other topics that I talk about. So I appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing. Keep doing it, and anything that I can do to help or contribute, just let me know. But I love what y'all are doing. This is great.
The first thing you can do is go and watch Watchmen if you haven't already, bro. Because
yes, I will do that.
Now I'm serious. Like, I really want to hear your take on it, and we can have if you're available. I know you're real busy, but if you're available in the next few weeks, man, we'd love to have you come back and talk about that Zack Snyder's, because that is honestly, I think that
he said it's only one season.
Yes, only one season.
Only one season.
That's it.
Okay.
And they're not doing no more.
Okay.
And Regina King, the one who just directed One Night in Miami, we all know she's getting her flowers right now.
I didn't like it.
You didn't?
You didn't like it? What?
Look, I didn't like that, and I also didn't like Judas and the Black Messiah, but that's another conversation.
I want to hear that conversation. I'm
gonna be listening
to Soapbox.
Tune into the Soapbox. Yeah, absolutely.
Have that one. We definitely need to have that conversation.
Yeah. Oh, I maybe have to introduce y'all. Well, I have to extend the same invitation.
Yeah,
to you guys on the Soapbox. Absolutely,
we gotta talk that one out.
Yeah, man.
I think I know where you're going with it, and I can't wait to hear what you guys are gonna say on that. So yeah.
TJ is unapologetically independent minded. So we'd love to hear, because Ty was literally gushing over all of those movies, and but then again, Ty comes from a different angle. TJ being in the streets, being that guy, like, has a whole different perspective of what he believes. And I subscribe to his notions most of the time. You know, you got a little trouble, with the mural, but we ain't gonna bring up none of that stuff. But anyway, Tyrone, man, what's going on with you, bro? I know you still quarantining, bro, but you gonna come out the house anytime soon? Anything we can look forward to having you on lately at all, bro?
Yeah, actually, I got I'm jumping on a show called Zillavision on Tuesday, the 9th of March. It's just it's an online stand-up show. Hit me up in DMs if you want a link to join that. It's the host is hilarious. It's a fun time. So looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm still quarantined and still in. Haven't done live shows yet, but man, I can't wait to get back on stage. It's so fun, just having this time to just share thoughts and laugh and enjoy each other. I love it, man. And shout out to Sean and Lisa for being a part of that too, because they contributed, and that was a lot of fun. I had fun like real quick, just like making fun of Toby and see Sean's reaction. That was cool. Thanks for being a good sport. But yeah, that was good. But yeah, I'll post about the comedy show coming up, because
do it in our group, so that way we can keep our followers, and I try to keep everybody up on like what you guys are doing, and making sure that they're and now that TJ, now that you're a big voice for us too, I'm gonna have start posting your stuff and add you as a friend and post you in the group too, so people can kind of keep up with time, see what you're doing, you know what I'm saying, like keep it relevant. So thank you again, TJ, for voicing your opinions today. It was a pleasure to meet you and have you on the show, and I cannot wait to see where this is going, and I cannot wait to have these further conversations, because this shit's gonna be funny.
Absolutely, man. So appreciate you. Don't go too far, TJ. We're just about to go ahead and say our pieces and all of that. And Tyrone, as an honorary member, please don't go too far. We're gonna talk a little bit after this. But as for everybody else, man, real quick, I would like to see. I have a Black History shout out. I didn't get a chance to upload them and everything, but I did want to at least big up the one and only Morgan Freeman for giving us our Batman black man. He gave us Lucius, who actually was a smart guy in the Batman comics and in the Batman series. And even though I'm not a big Morgan Freeman fan, because he says a lot of dumb shit, frankly, I mean, you know what? I think I'm gonna take that back, man. I don't think I want to big up Morgan Freeman no more, because he's the one out there like, oh, there's no Black history, But I at least admire the fact that he was a strong actor. I was gonna say Billy D, because Billy D actually was the original Harvey Dent, who should have been Two-Face, and he actually was Lando Calrissian as well. But I want to big up those folks. I don't know if y'all have Black History shout outs or not, but I'm going to throw that out there real quick. Ty, can we see you anywhere? What's going on with you, man, on the way out, bro? Any last words, fam?
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to go ahead and give my condolences out to the family of one of the funniest dudes.
Oh my God, you're right.
We have ever probably heard.
100%.
And one of the funniest dudes that you may or may not have heard of. But Eric Myers passed away. I think the weekend or whatever.
You've had 2 days ago.
Yeah, 2 days ago. And I just want to just take a moment of silence to kind of remember him and send our condolences out to his family.
Absolutely.
And also, today is my grandmother's 90th birthday, so I want to go ahead and wish my grandmother the happiest birthday ever. We are on our way. We will be there shortly. So I want to just go ahead and give a special Black History shout out to my grandma for being the best grandma in the world.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yes. Any words on the way out, little mama?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to our first lady. like our first lady, vice president Kamala. That's some big ups to her, and I've been watching her low key, and I'm fucking impressed with her and her way of like just owning everything. You know what I'm saying? Like she's kind of amazing, and I feel like women everywhere, we need to take back our power, and we need to make this place a better place for our children. So just want to one up for the women, just give my props. Kamala Harris, like, yo, bitch is on point. I'm just saying. But on that note, happy birthday, Grandma. What's up? As far as things that you can see, I actually have some pretty crazy news. I actually have been officially internationally published.
Whoa!
Congratulations.
I haven't posted the pictures just like all over Facebook, only because they're a little risque. Hey, but they're they're awesome, and this was a birthday shoot I did like a year or two ago with some really great friends, and this is like just a great collab that we had. So we are officially internationally published. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Bernice. Thank you, Beverly. Like yo, my dogs in Jacksonville. Like, we fucking published internationally for sure, dog. So check it out on my Yas the Model page, and you can peep that it's in Dominant magazine. You can also find them on Instagram. I'm gonna post like my I'm on the back cover, and I'm in like 3 or 4 pages.
Oh shit!
So check it out. Yas in a different light. Looking up. Okay.
Okay, go Jazz.
Represent. That's congratulations. Yes, big deal, man. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. And we appreciate you, man. And I speak for everybody. We're honored as hell that you not only hold it down here, but that you're able to keep us entertained, keep us laughing, and keep us informed, and still keep us woke at the same time. And all the while sitting there doing your modeling. And we know that that's just a small part of the many things that you do, because we know you also save the world in the healthcare department. And, there's so many things that we don't really give you enough credit for on a regular basis. So thank you so much for gracing us with your presence on a weekly basis.
It has been my pleasure. Honestly, I'm so unbelievably honored to be a part of our movement, and to, just get people woke and, get them entertained. That's just what we do. And I'm honored that I can help out with everybody and make a difference to the community. So guys, thank you for all the love. Thank you for, everybody keeping up with the group, with the comments and stuff. I freaking love you guys. Blerds forever. Okay.
Love it. Well, I will also big up Yas. Happy birthday, Grandma. Major condolences to Eric Myers. We literally were just last week talking about Eric Myers. And me, you, DeRusso, we were talking about him, and you didn't even know what we were talking about, Yas. And this dude just got hit by a car 2 days ago. It wasn't like COVID. Like, he got hit by a car. Now, we'll talk about all that stuff later.
That's what I do for my therapy, is I handle car patient accident. You know what I'm saying? I literally from start to finish, I help you remold your life back from being who you were to being where you are now. So that's a big thing for me. Like, that's massive condolences to that man and his family. That's, oh my God, that's so
funniest dude I have ever seen.
It's so hard
on stand-up, period.
Damn.
Hands fucking down. No question about it. Ty was there when I first saw him live.
We saw him together.
We first saw him together live, and our boy Carmen Vallone, who he's gone another way since, but he's still my boy. I mean, he had a life-changing incident happen to him too, that we think that, I don't want to say warped, but kind of changed his beliefs a little bit, but it doesn't make him any less of a friend to me. But Carmen Vallone came out. We were at an open mic, I think, somewhere.
It was called the Irish Pub in
Irish Pub.
Irish Pub in Sanford or
something like that. And Carmen came up. Now, there's a bunch of open micers, right? So nobody's famous. And Carmen comes up and says, "Oh, you guys get to see Eric Myers tonight." And me and Ty was like, "All right, whatever." You know what I'm saying? They're here to see me, because I was still thinking I was that guy. And man, this dude Eric Myers, I will never forget. Like, he came up and he's like, Eric, and Carmen introduces him and says, "All right, everybody, you've seen him all over the place. Okay, here comes Eric Myers to the club. Go ahead and put your hands together for Eric Myers." Eric Myers gets up. He's like, Carmen Valone, everybody. Carmen Valone. Carmen fucking Valone. I say Carmen Valone. He just starts going crazy. Like, oh my God, what the hell is going on right now? And then he goes into his act. He's like, I applied for a job at Taco Bell. On the application, I swear to God, it says, how did you hear about Taco Bell? Are you fucking kidding me? I live on Earth, you asshole. What did you think? Oh, it was a legend in my village.
Yo, this dude is,
the funniest joke. Everybody's like, so I'm out. I'm single. And my friends are like, Eric, you need to meet a lady. So, well, how do I do that? I was, well, Eric, you need to be mysterious. You need to be mysterious with the ladies. I said, oh, okay. Hi, I'm Eric. Or am I?
yo, this dude was so funny. He was so funny that my side, he had both of my sides hurting.
Yeah,
literally hurting from laughing so hard because his set was so good. And that's why it's really it's sad that we lost him. You know what I'm saying? We really done so soon. And
well, that's very, very unfortunate. But on that note, anybody that's been in a car accident, hit me up, message me, let me know how you're doing. And I can possibly shed some light on helping you with whatever you need help with lawyers, any of that stuff, healthcare, getting it done, just hit me up, because Florida is a big state where constantly people are not paying attention. They're always on their phone. They're always getting in car accidents. And the thing I love most about my job is helping you realize this is not forever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like this process that you have to go through now because of this it's not forever. It's going to change, and that is going to get better. You just have to have a positive mindset and just work your way through it. You know what I'm saying? So definitely message me and let me know. I work for a great company, and it's in multiple different areas all around the state of Florida. So message me if you guys get into any car accidents, please.
Yeah. But after you call 911, call 411 pain. Oh shoot, what happened? What's up? My bad. All right. Well, I was trying to upload a quick picture of Eric Myers, but I don't have time. Let's go ahead and I'll probably do a little tribute for him next week if we can. We may throw one in the group. But for now, guys, I sincerely appreciate it. Don't go too far. We'll talk a little bit. And also, I have a quick announcement for everybody who did not know. This week, we were actually able to begin the process of securing a venue for the new Blerd order to actually appear live. So if you're in the Orlando area, look out, because we are coming live and direct to you. TBA, the actual location. There are actually 2 locations that we may be doing our little thing at. But let's just say the first week of May, you may see not only myself, but the one and only Yas the Model, internationally broadcasted, posted, and possibly a guest appearance from the one and only Ty, the monster, Mr. Negative himself. Wear
your mask. Make sure you bring your mask. This is a masked event. Wear your mask.
So yeah, we coming at y'all live, man. So just be on the lookout for that, guys. We sincerely appreciate the support. Thanks for the likes, the shares, the comments. Thank you for reposting everything that we post in the group as well. And as we always say, be your authentic self. If you're not being yourself, who are you? You're fake. So don't be fake. All right. And let me see if I get this right this week. Make sure you always don't forget to let that.
Okay, we got this.
Let that fuck, man.
All right, take 3.
Yo, can you say it, Yas? Can you say it for me, please?
Y'all, do not forget to let that geek flag fly.
There it is. Thank you. Let that geek flag fly. On that note, we'll see y'all next week, baby.
Fighter 2, I just really hate Zangief, only Ken and Ra. You, I find it hard to be Blanca, keep a wee ninja hanging, and now Uncle album banging. If you negative in energy, then stay out the vicinity. Yeah, them niggas over there. Yeah, now look at what I wear.